Streaming.
Alright, streaming, music going, la 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 la
Music,
la la la.
Reset.
Over 7,000 years ago, God gave us a libation.
No, I meant
And now this divine beverage is brewed in every nation, on every continent,
Except one.
from far away to near. Humanity can all agree we love this thing called beer! There's Budweiser from St. Louis,
Leaning out OPA.
Coors in Colorado,
We even left the USA. Lamont up in Canada, the land of ice and snow. You don't even need a cooler when it's 40 below.
Dos Equis down in Mexico, or Corona with a lime. It's such a shame, so many beers, so very little time. From Brazil to Argentina,
From Peru or Ecuador. Todos hechos su cerveza. They grant some more.
or fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set 'em up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer, we're gonna drink 'em all.
What about the Middle East?
Well, that's where it all began. They say the first beer was brewed in modern day Iran, or Lebanon, or Jordan. Well, hey, they make beer too.
Don't forget Gold Star in Israel. The Jews couldn't brew.
Oy
American
vey.
accent.
Coolies in Australia.
Or maybe Carlton Draft. Try to keep up with the Aussies,
And you'll end up on your wall.
Fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so we're gonna drink them all.
There's beer from Scandinavia.
Belgium, France, and Spain.
So raise your glass bottoms up and fill them up again.
That's it.
England,
Guinness.
Ireland.
Headings from the Scots.
Fine Steffen. Spice
It's
beer.
been over 10.
Reinheitsgebot!
Czech Republic, Poland, Russia.
China to the east. They all make delicious beers with barley, hops, and yeast.
Don't have yourself a big name brew.
Or better, brew your own.
But enjoy that beer, cause one thing's clear.
You ain't drunk at all! Fill my glass up to the rim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set 'em up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all!
Drink!
Cheers!
Cheers! Drink! So original. Cheers!
Slanja!
Slancha! Not Ireland! Slancha from Ireland!
That's right. May the devil know you're not dead. Oh, why I screwed that one up.
But it's hard for a German to be an Irish guy.
That's right. So, we'll just pay homage to Germany and say, Prost!
Prost! And may you be in hell half an hour before the devil knows you're there.
Yes, in Ireland they would appreciate that. L'chaim!
L'chaim! Yes, for our Jewish friends! What else we got?
Come by!
Kompai! Off to Japan with Asahi and
A little over to the west of Japan, we have Russia, Nostrovia.
way far west of Japan, Nostrovia, which I keep calling Nokia because I'm stupid.
And then, wait, we have some Zulu friends.
Yes, down in Africa, Bajabule!
How do we say that?
Bajabule! What else we got? Salud! From Spain,
Salud!
Latin America, and Italy.
All fun. See, hey, you're not supposed to do that.
Chin-chin.
Yeah, I've had actually some really good success with people who were in India.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, same here. The person who finally did help me when I kept getting billed for my own router was not an American. There was someone overseas. I don't know if it was India or not, but they had an accent, and and I figured they told me they were from. I know the music's over.
Okay.
And they actually helped me with that billing problem. She's like, oh, I see the problem. Click, click, click. You're good. And it was.
See, there you go.
Some stupid code that people kept forgetting to add into some field on my account page. Some code that indicated, don't bill this guy for a modem that he owns, you know?
Right.
So, anyway, hey!
And the point of all that is that people are people.
And this episode is brought to you by the letters B, E, E, and R.
Yes.
Yes, because there's 2 E's in the alphabet.
There are. It's. You didn't know it. The second one's silent.
And the number,
Come on, that was funny.
And the number 7.4, because that's the ABV of this beer.
Welcome to another episode of the Northwest Brewmeisters. My name is Jamie.
I am Steve.
And we are 2 guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beer.
And think you should too.
You absolutely should like beer. If you don't like beer, pretend you like beer. You know, maybe I should just get my kid to do that. Just like Tim will just lie. I won't even get away with that because he won't lie. He won't lie. He won't use bad language.
He's a bit of a heart, man. You know?
I know. Maybe I should just put him in a monastery. You know what? You know what you're good for? Go be a monk.
Be a monk.
Go be a monk.
Ooh, he could make Trappist monk ale.
He doesn't like beer.
But he could make it though.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what it tastes like.
That's right. He has us for that.
Oh, okay. Yes. You know what? This is true because I was just talking as I was hauling that 48+ pound carboy out to my car to get over here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna want to be doing this in 10 years.
Oh, I know. It's getting.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's like, ugh.
Maybe we need to switch to plastic.
No, because the water still weighs 8 pounds.
Heavy. Imagine trying to brew 30, 40 gallon batches at a time, which some people do, you know. You'd have to have a a mechanical system to like tip the pot. There's no way you're gonna hold all that, you know. Especially if you do all grain brewing, because
I don't think
you got to have a lot more water.
They got those
than
ball
we use.
valves.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Oh
with
yeah.
that stuff.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you've seen Ben.
It's all gravity.
Ben and Trevor's all grain setup.
Yeah.
That stuff is permanently. Well, I think the pots come off.
Right,
but
they
it's
don't take them off
mounted.
unless they
The
have
only
to.
thing they move is a hose up to the top pot.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, they don't pick that stuff.
Those big beer vats that are over in Flyer, same thing. You know, guy gets on a ladder and he fills it up with water, whatever he needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that stuff is big and heavy. I was thinking about building a little robot thing, something, you know, it doesn't have to be like a robot, just
right.
like a controlled cart.
Dude, you're gonna brew beer or play with the cart? Oh,
okay, I'm sorry. Go get the flame thing. You've got a good point.
Oh yeah, you need flame.
There is only one brew going today. However, it is a 90-minute boil, so we do need to get going.
Indeed.
All right. That's right. Steve's job, his main job, aside from being the straight guy to my goofiness, is to make sure that we actually brew beer instead of just talking to the camera all.
Right.
How long was your broadcast? 19 hours. Did you ever brew beer?
No. Yeah, today I am taking a break. It's my off brew day. So I will just drink beer and no things.
2 things you're good at.
But I also have 2 cases of beer in them. It's just chest freezer, so I'm not gonna run out of beer anytime soon. And a full case of all days in the fridge.
I'm not going to run out of beer anytime soon, and I am in your same boat, but mainly because I'm stupid. And instead of actually putting the beer in the keg and carbonating it, I just drank the beer that Wendy bought for me, which was all-day IPAs. By the way, we like the all-day IPAs. In case
Yes, founders, you did a good job.
Well done on that beer.
I do have a beer to rack later. I didn't rack it today. So
okay, so there's doing to do after the doing?
Minor doing. Just
minor doing.
One racking the one beer over. I already got the cardboard ready. I just need to put the pump on and over.
All right.
But it gives us a chance to taste the pre-taste of the Resurrection Ale.
Oh, sweet. I'm all about that. I love Resurrection Ale. It's a good thing. So my wife promised that she would watch.
Oh, okay.
And there's 2 viewers. And I gave her a hard time about not being able to comment because she had a hard time with that before.
Oh.
She says she can comment. Nobody's commented. So whoever viewer number 2 is, maybe my wife, or it may just be a lurker.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So if you're Jamie's wife, hi.
Hi, wife.
If you're the lurker, hi, lurker.
Hello, lurker. Oh yes, we know, because we have a high-tech monitoring production team mainly in
You see them
iPad.
all? They're so good, they're not in the camera. You know?
Yeah, that's
They're
where
not just
producers
out of the
belong.
camera. Yeah.
And they have incredible like vocal etiquette. They know how to be silent.
Mhm. Good thing we pay them well.
Yeah.
What are we making?
So today we're gonna be making a Newcastle clone because,
What's wrong with the old castle?
well, the old castle is actually so we're making the newest castle.
Ah.
There's a newer castle in California, and then there's the old Newcastle, which is in England. Now, the old Newcastle doesn't make beer anymore because the newer castle, which is the new old medium castle in California, they bought that beer's license or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, it moved to California, and somehow they don't know how to distribute it, which is weird because Lagunitas has other
beers. Yeah.
titles.
Well, I like their IPA.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Lagunitas is bad beer. It's just maybe the Newcastle, maybe they need to go back and start brewing it the way the original people brewed it.
Yeah, because they did change the recipe. Like it's even announced they changed it.
I think it's a one-shot beer like
Yeah.
this is one shot, right? So the original Newcastle, and you can look this up online, was two beers blended into one. They made a brown ale and they aged that.
Yeah.
And then they made an amber ale, which was like a green amber, and then they blended them together, and that was Newcastle Ale, and that's what was super popular.
Ah, yep.
That's the one you remember. I don't
Yeah.
remember because I don't think I ever had
Used to
it.
trip me out too about it. It was imported, you know, from the UK, and it came in a clear bottle.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Which is, I guess, you know, in modern days it's fine as long as you're careful with it. But you know, sunlight and beer don't mix very well. That's why typical beer bottles are dark. You know?
And it doesn't take a lot. There was one I went down to Wicked Teuton's. I say Wicked Teuton. It's Teutonic, so it's
Like Teutonic Night.
yeah. So do you say Teuton or do you say Teuton?
I say Teuton because
Okay, that's good because Teuton sounds like someone with a problem with flatulence. I'm sorry. So you go drink. I'm sorry. Think about it. Wicked Teuton. It's like so you fart a lot.
is it UE or
EU.
that might actually be pronounced. Wait,
Right. If you go original
right,
German.
we go true German because Oile is an owl. It's,
Right.
I think
Freud.
it's Freud. Yeah.
Freund.
UE. Yeah.
Freundin.
Freundin.
You know.
That's the plural.
Right.
Yeah, so it might be Teuton.
However, in the
German.
United States, which is
Teuton.
the only country that matters. Sorry, British friends, we love you, but let's be real. Feel free to slam back at me in the comments. We'll take it. I got a thick skin. Hope you do too. But anyhow, on this side of the pond, we say Teuton
Yeah.
or Teuton,
Some people say Teuton. Yeah.
and it's just I'm sorry. It's like Wicked Teuton. Don't stand close to me. I don't
Someone-
want to be with you in a
Wicked
closed room.
Teuton sounds like someone from Massachusetts who has a lot of gas.
Yes, it
Oh,
does.
He's wicked Teuton over
He's
there.
Wicked Teuton.
Wicked Teuton.
Don't let him in your car. What are we doing? Okay, so let's do the recipe really
Newcastle Ale.
So-
Newcastle Ale.
quick. The newest of the Newcastle ales, and I definitely tagged Lagunitas Brewing in the thing saying that my beer tastes better than theirs. So, challenge down. Challenge! Watch them. They're like, oh yeah? Come on down. It's like, I gotta go to work on Monday. Sorry, I would. But I gotta go to work. So let us look up the recipe, which I finally put into my notes. I've been having to go to the internet every time to do this recipe. Been sitting on my iPad for
This one tab has been there for like 3 years now. Like, don't close that tab, whatever you do.
there's no sarcasm there. That
I
tab
know.
has been there for at least a year and a half.
You've seen my browser, man. I have like 50 tabs sometimes.
You are as bad
Yeah.
as my son.
But
Yes.
the what I started doing more often is like, all right, this thing has the bookmark feature. I should just use it. Like bookmark.
I know.
So I started cleaning up my tabs.
The problem is those bookmarks get lost. If they're in a tab, it's in your face. That's the difference.
Exactly, it's right there.
So you look and you're like, oh yeah, I was interested in that. If it's in the bookmarks, you never think of it again.
Yeah.
Until one day you bookmark something, and you're like, oh, I gotta get rid of all these bookmarks. And then you go to get rid of the bookmarks, you're like, oh wait, Wait, I think I don't have time for that now, and so you close it, and then it's lost.
I have some bookmark backups from probably like the late '90s, early 2000s. I should like load them into Firefox or whatever and see what they are, because I have no idea, man.
Yeah.
Backups I made back in the day. Old backups I made in the day.
All right, so here we go. Newcastle clone. Now this clone is designed off of the old recipe, but it's a one-shot beer, like this, But we got Y yeast 1028, which is just a British ale yeast. We got 6 pounds of dry malt extract, Pilsen dry malt. They say light malt in the original recipe online. Pilsen is pretty much.
Pilsen's pretty light.
Yeah.
It's lighter than the Golden Light.
Right. They also say 5.5 pounds, but what am I going to do with a half pound of dry malt extract? So it's going in the beer.
Put it in the beer.
Yep. In the beer it goes.
You
5.
might get like 0.2 of a percent more alcohol.
Right. Now, if you look up the same recipe that I looked up, it says 12 ounces of Crystal 55. However, I don't know if Ben doesn't carry Crystal 55. But for whatever reason, we went with 5 ounces of Crystal 60.
Okay.
And
it's a hair darker. If even noticeable,
And I think that's why we went with 5 ounces instead of 12. It's like, all right, so we're going with a darker crystal, so yada, yada, yada. All right. 1.5 ounces of black malt, 1.5 ounces of British chocolate malt, and 4 ounces of torrefied wheat. 1 ounce of East Kent Goldings at the 90-minute mark, so just as soon as we hit our boil. And 1 ounce of East Kent Goldings at the 30-minute mark. Very little hop aroma in this beer. It is all brown ale. Brown, nutty brown ale. Very yummy, though.
No naked oats?
I know, I like naked oats, and maybe I should just add some naked oats just so I can
say
naked oats. And yeah, because who likes to say we should start, that's when we start a brewery. Let's not call it the Northwest Brewmeisters. Let's just call it Just Say Naked Brewery. Just say naked. And people are going to think that's like something deep.
Right.
They're like, oh, what's that mean? It's like, well, we just like the word naked. Naked. Go ahead and say it. Naked.
Naked.
Huh? See? Got your mind turning, doesn't it?
Everybody's like,
yeah. So, nice brewery. It's like, you got to say it. What? Say, naked. Okay, come on in. Ring the bell once an hour. Bing. The whole crowd's like, naked!
I didn't get a naked out of that guy. Naked.
Okay. All right.
All right. You can have your beer now.
Yes, you may have your beer now.
That was a slightly modified Blazing Saddles reference. I didn't get a harump out of that guy. And then the one guy was like, "Give the governor a harump."
Oh, I don't remember Blazing. I have watched Blazing Saddles all the way through.
Wow.
A couple times.
Anybody younger than 40 is probably like, "What the hell's Blazing Saddles?"
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, it's like this classic work, but at the same time, just because it's classic doesn't mean everybody's seen it, particularly in the movie realm.
Oh, I know.
Because, unfortunately for Hollywood, a lot of those people feel that they're artists, but really the way their industry works, you are making pulp fiction. I mean, they are. It is something, it is like, that movie was fun for 2022. Hey, you want to watch this movie again? No. It's 2024. They got new stuff that's just as bad as that we can watch. CGI slightly better, story slightly worse. Let's see if it makes up for it.
New movies ever catch my attention. And when I go see them, I always leave slightly disappointed. We went and saw the third Deadpool. It was entertaining, but it just kind of left going, huh.
Yeah, I think that's my thing, is like, very rarely is a movie really amazing.
I mean, it was funny. I felt like even though it was Deadpool and he got, they let the character do his jabs and all that stuff, I still think Disney put their little signature in there. They totally emasculated Wolverine. Totally.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like Disneyfication right there.
Totally with, I mean, it's definitely the biggest problem you see with that is in Star Wars. But they managed to do the little emasculation in the Marvel Universe too, man.
Well, theoretically, that's changing. If y'all watched The Critical Drinker, I don't know if it was Mahler, but one of his cadre, there's a whole cadre of those online movie critics, and they all know each other. whether just virtually or whatever, they're part of a community. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like there's communities of political pundits. You know, Ben Shapiro knows Bill Maher and he knows Piers Morgan. You know, they're all political guys and they know each other.
Right.
Or at least they know of each other and stuff. So, now one guy was saying that Marvel kind of cleaned house a little bit and got rid of a lot of the activist writers.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So we'll see. The problem is, it doesn't matter if you're an activist writer or not.
Right.
If you can't write a good story, a
It
bad
doesn't matter.
story that has no woke messaging and no agenda is still a bad story.
Still bad, yeah.
It's like, bad directing is still bad directing. There were bad movies.
You can't polish a turd, man.
No, you can't. And it doesn't matter if you manage to avoid anything controversial. In fact, to an extent, that kind of weakens. It especially weakens it if you're trying to make an art movie. So I saw the latest Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
Oh, yeah, this must be the fourth one. I haven't seen it yet. How was it?
Was it the fourth one?
That's the fourth one.
What was the third one?
Beverly Hills Cop 3? No, there was a third one, I promise. That's what it was called, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Okay, I did not
think it
see
came
number
out.
3.
I think it came out 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, Axel F is the fourth one.
Well, in any case, if you are a Beverly Hills Cop fan, you will enjoy this because they brought everybody.
All the
Everybody,
characters,
they're all back. If they didn't die, they came back in one
Right.
way, shape, or form.
There's no multiverse in that world.
Nope, no multiverse, and they had a lot of the same gags. You know, 120.
Yeah, same old. Oh yeah, when those characters.
But they were, you know, those characters had certain roles to play, you know, and so anyways, it was, if you liked that, it was good. It was the same nuttiness, you know,
Right.
he's a Detroit cop, so of course he has no real authority, which makes me wonder.
Or filter.
I mean, or filter, you know. I mean,
Where was he this time? Like.
Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay, that was a dumb question. Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, for some reason I thought it took place in a different city.
No, it started in Detroit, but
Right.
he ends up in Beverly Hills.
Okay, yeah, dumb
With a
question.
gun. How?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are cops allowed to fly with their sidearms?
I don't
Just
know.
regular general old
I
cop.
don't think so, but it's a movie.
Good point.
You know? Well, I thought the same kind of thing, real quick tangent. I was watching an old episode of The X-Files, and they went, where did they go? Old Mulder and Scully, they went somewhere. A different country. Had their guns. And I'm like, you can't take your gun across the border? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. The level that you have to be at is above
Right?
paranormal
Paranormal.
cryptid researcher thing.
I mean, I get it, they were FBI, so they're government, federal government level, but I believe they were in another country for this episode.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's just like,
I do know the FBI does operate in other countries, but it's highly restricted.
Right. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, okay, tangent. So, in any case, it was enjoyable.
okay.
It was fairly fun to watch.
But you're not gonna go buy it, right?
No.
I'm not gonna go buy the Blu-ray.
Nope.
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Man. I don't know if people buy physical movies that much anymore.
My kid does.
Okay. I didn't. Well, yeah. I didn't mean nobody. I'm just saying. I don't think it's as popular as it used to be because most people just buy the stream and then they stream whenever they want. You know.
Well, and the other thing is, most movies are not worth watching more than once.
These days, yeah.
You know, I mean, there's just
Unless you're my wife, she'll watch the same movie like 50 times.
yes, but she watches old movies from the
Some
90s
of
and
them.
80s.
Some of them, yeah.
And I've seen what's on your TV as I come over, and it's like,
Oh,
that
look,
movie was popular
Goonies
when
again.
yeah, Goonies. Again, I mean,
Again.
don't get me wrong, cult classic. I enjoyed it the first 5 times.
Right?
But the additional 97 and a half times, all at your house. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of it. It's like, oh, what I Willie? Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the
soft,
guys.
Yeah, chunk.
Oh, yeah, you guys.
Hey, you guys, for the 50,000th time.
Do the jiggles or whatever, and then the one guy.
The truffle shuffle.
The truffle shuffle, there it is. That's it. somebody's seen Goonies a few times.
It happens a lot.
And then the Asian kid, who turned out to be a really good actor, he did a great job in Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
Everything,
dad,
Everywhere,
yeah.
All
Or
at
the
Once.
husband. Both. He was a dad and a husband.
He was the dad, the husband. He was badass in certain ones. He's incredibly strong. I think that's what was really interesting is it was a multiverse movie, of course, right? But the nice thing about it, it wasn't a multiverse movie for the sake of, gee, we killed this character, but we really
want to bring him back.
Yeah, we'll bring him back by another universe. No, I mean the whole movie it was a one shot. If they make a second Everywhere All at Once, I'm not gonna watch it, and I'm gonna punch the director in the nose. We heard it here.
Was it a movie? Was it based off a book or a comic book? I can't remember. I think it's based off a book.
Oh, please tell me. You mean it? Hollywood. You've got to have at least one single creative person in your town that can write a story. Find that guy or girl or it. You're Hollywood, so who knows?
Yeah,
But-
I think it was a book or a comic series. I can't remember. Probably a book. I mean, we have an encyclopedia right there, but it's not that important.
Well, it's not that important.
I don't feel like it's spending the energy to look it up.
I just hope they don't make a sequel. I mean, it was good. It wasn't quite as good as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be crazier.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually for what I saw, and I was just like, oh, this movie could be totally psychotic, and it was actually fairly linear for calling itself Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It was pretty linear. It's like everything, everywhere, but actually
On
one at a
rails.
time. One at a
But
time after
sequential.
another. Yeah. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And that kid who starred in that movie, he was in this one, and he was, was that kid also Short Round? Okay, yeah, so same guy.
Yeah, from Indiana Jones. Yeah, same kid.
He did a really good job. I mean, the adult
Yeah.
is what he grew into because he was, I think he was just a total wimp in one. He's a badass in another one. He was the husband, like the long-suffering husband, long-suffering and the patient dealing with his wife's crap.
The overbearing, aggressive wife.
Yes, and and in one he was this really suave, debonair, like actor thing.
No.
And
I've only seen the movie once. I don't remember all the
well, I just remember there's
incarnations of the.
There's a lot of incarnations of him, and he played all these parts, and he did a really believable job in each one.
Yeah.
So, props to that guy. He did a really good job. And Michelle Yeoh did pretty good too.
Really good bitch.
She is, I think she's multi-talented.
And I didn't mean not like to call her a bitch, but she played a good bitch. She was a bitch part of the movie.
Yeah, she was, and she played that, and I enjoy her stuff.
Treated her daughter like shit. So.
There was. She's part of that blood something. It's like a precursor to Rings of Power or something.
Oh.
I forget what it is. Or maybe it is Rings of Power. What's?
I have no inclination to watch the
No
Rings of Power
desire. I'm
show.
sorry, Amazon.
They butchered it, man. They butchered it. Tolkien's like, what the F? Yeah, they did the same thing. I didn't watch it, but one of my friends watched it. The Wheel of Time series, Amazon did a Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time?
It's based off like a 15-book series by the author named Robert Jordan, and they did the same thing. They just butchered it, changed the story, and make it fit somebody's narrative. And it's just like, when he told me that, I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch the first episode then because I like the Wheel of Time series. I didn't read the whole thing, but it's just very epic. Long fantasy, like the first book is about that freaking thing, man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, each book they're big books, man. There's 15 books, and they're like 1,000 pages each.
Are they good?
I've read, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just saying because long does
The
not
books
mean
are good.
I managed to grind my way through.
No, I know that. The length of the book does not mean a good book.
Yeah, I managed to grind my way through Battlefield Earth.
Oh gosh, yeah, Ron Hubbard, yeah.
And I read the whole thing, and I don't know because I was like, I don't know, 13, 14 when I read it. I was a voracious reader when I was a kid. And I don't know if it was good or not. I know that personally, Dune and the Messiah of Doom, the Prophet of Doom,
I like the Doom books, but
Acolyte
they're
of
kind of a
Doom.
slog though, man. You know.
the Messenger of Doom, the
Right.
Gopher of Doom, all the Dunes. I made it through halfway through Dune, and I was just like, no, like, this is just blah. I don't understand why it inspired the movies. And I gotta admit, you know what's weird, strange? You know the Dune I like?
Original one.
The horrible 1980s one.
Yeah, that was the original
With
one.
Sting, and I know
Yeah.
Sting was in it, and I don't know any of the other actors.
There was a few big names in there. They got like Angelica Houston.
Really? Anyways,
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
I-
yeah,
I watched-
I like that movie too. I like
I
that
watched
original one.
that the other day, and I watched Dune, and it's kind of a slog like the books. I think one thing that Hollywood and just directors in general need to get under their skin is like, look, an hour and 30 minutes, that's your time limit. I mean, particularly in the modern world, where our attention span is.
Oh yeah, it's not like it used to be.
If a video does not grab you completely within 5 seconds, you've scrolled past.
Right.
I know, because I do it. I do it, fing, 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 fing. You know, but it's just, even some things that I feel like, sometimes I stop myself. Like the other day, there's a guy, Jay Neubauer, Neubauer. Anyways, back when I used to do a lot of,
American.
right, back when I used to do a lot of streaming, he was somebody that was in those circles, and so I would watch him and engage with him and stuff. Anyways, he put something up, and he was just talking about this little tiny amplifier, just this little big Mini Deluxe, Fender Mini Deluxe, and he was like, how can this sound so good? And so he had a drum track and like just a rhythm track that was playing around. And he was playing a solo, and I almost just scrolled. I was like, wait a minute, why don't you just listen? It's 3 freaking minutes. Like, you don't have 3 minutes standing out here drinking a beer, not doing anything else. And so I stopped. I'm like, all right, let's listen to it. The cat can play guitar. Jeez. And it was pretty jazzy, very David Gilmour type solo. You know, he's not a shredder. You know, although he had some pretty quick sweep patterns going on there. I mean,
Right.
there's some stuff he's like do buddy do. I was like, whoa, that was a sweep. I know what a sweep sounds like, and that was that. Look at me paying attention.
You know what he's not paying attention to?
You know what?
Maybe 3 guesses there, no audience, or we still have a viewer, a lurker.
Well, we still have 2 viewers, so one person is lurking, or my phone never let go. But I turned the app off on my phone.
Right.
All right, the timer has begun.
Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's not good. Might need to get a new one of these. Look, it's like what, a shot. You are not that far. Wait, how long has your beer been empty?
Wow.
Sorry, man.
Like, I don't know, maybe 10.
Okay.
But I haven't been as busy as you have, so I'm just having fun.
No, the truth is I've just mainly been talking. I own it.
Alright, same thing, you want the golden.
Let's hit the golden. Let's go back to that. Gotta get rid of it.
Kind of go back and forth.
Alright, so we're gonna say we're not big fans of the golden. We don't think necessarily that we did anything wrong because it came out exactly the same. So either we didn't do anything wrong or we both did exactly the same thing wrong.
Right. Well, I didn't do the coffee or the
Right.
nibs in mine.
So what we're saying is, so the golden, so it's a golden stout is what it is. So most stouts in the modern world are
That's mine.
foamy.
How I did that?
I don't know. You got it. There's like 7 ounces of foam. If you could see over there, you would see this glass. It had a little bit of beer.
Yours was the first pour. It was fine.
You know, that happened the other day. I poured yours, and it had 0 foam. And then I poured mine.
Or something, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyhow, end result, we followed the recipe, we did things right as far as we can tell, and it came out really sweet, like sweeter than what we would think. So,
I would say a hop adjustment.
yeah, that's what we're thinking. And you know, the alpha acids in hops this year have not been high. You know,
Must be something from the soil.
well, things change. Sunlight, water, temperature, all these things,
Air
they
pollution.
impact. Yeah, air pollution. Number of bees. But they
Yeah.
do. All these things impact the way plants grow. You
That's
know?
true. Yeah.
It's like coffee's supposed to get expensive this year.
Oh.
Apparently, coffee growing conditions are not ideal in Brazil and Colombia and wherever else we get coffee.
Oh yeah, Colombia. Everything's always Colombia. Colombia.
Colombia.
Colombia.
Colombia. Or, if you're in Alabama, Colombia.
Colombia.
Colombia!
That'd be like Texas.
No, that is a really bad pronunciation of the capital of the United States. Talking Colombia. 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 That's some sort of fish. You know what? Go eat your jerky and spit your chewing tobacco in a can.
I just swallowed it.
Ah,
Oh.
we are being so mean to Southerners today. What's wrong with us?
I know.
We shouldn't be like that. Southerners are very smart people too. Actually, to be honest, I've seen the Northerners up here. Yeah, the Southerners kind of have it. They might have an accent that makes you think they're
Right.
uneducated.
Well, Jeff Foxworthy made that point. Because of my accent, you know, people tend to deduct 100 IQ points off the bat. You know,
Yep.
it's like,
Just like that.
oh, this guy's a Southern idiot. You know, like, nah, he's probably pretty smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
doesn't sound like it. That's all.
yeah. Well, that's because
Stereotypes. Yeah, I get it.
stereotypes, and for whatever reason, I mean, you do have Florida man.
Yeah, it's Florida. I mean, come on, Florida. You guys are certain individuals in your state are giving you bad rep, man.
Stop letting them be famous. This
People-
is the thing. Stop letting
People are
them be
really
famous.
assuming a lot about that state now. You know, it's like, oh, let me guess, Florida man. You know.
Yeah, well, it's a saying. It's
Yeah.
like Google. I'll Google that. Oh, he had a Florida man moment.
Yeah.
You know. And now there's Florida woman. Oh my goodness. And worse, man.
Just so you know, this is a 8%er.
Party on, Wayne.
Already on guard.
I don't have to be anywhere for a while.
I have to work tomorrow. Not till the afternoon. So.
Oh, I have to get to my kid to his job by 5:30 in the morning. But it's only 16:13. We got
What?
time.
You can do that and go home and exercise until work.
That's exactly what I've been doing lately. Wendy thinks
That's what you said. That's why I said that.
that is what I've been doing. I have not been going back to sleep. I did that for a while. It's like I'm just going. Like, you know what? This is. I say I want to exercise, so let's do it.
Good. What do you think? Say
Wendy thinks Jaime's actually losing weight. I don't know if I saw it. I was looking at that bugger. He's kind of chunky today.
Oh.
Of course, he was wearing a shirt that was just probably too small for him. We need to get rid of that shirt. But Jaime's funny. So Timoteo, he jumps on that treadmill. Now Timoteo does exactly half an hour, right? I told him you have to do a half an hour. He does half an hour. Right? He times it. But he jumps on there, and I'm like, hey, Timo, you need to go a little faster. So how about you do 4 miles an hour? So he's been doing 4 miles an hour. Right? So he's trucking along doing his 4 miles an hour, which is a really fast walk or a really slow jog for him, depending on which one he does.
Right.
Jaime, however, is harder. So I get him up there, and he'll start out at 3.4, and they both do zero incline. They don't go up or down, right? He'll start out at 3.4, and I'll catch him doing 3. But the thing about Jaime is, like, sometimes I'll walk in, and he'll be standing with one foot on the rail, and I'll hear the treadmill just, and I'll hear, what is he doing, leaping? He's got one foot on the rail, and he's just swinging his other foot, just swinging it, just kind of, just like, come on, kid. So Timo does half an hour. Jaime will routinely do an hour and a half on that treadmill.
Oh, really?
Because he doesn't walk the whole time, and so I
Right.
just let him go. If he faithfully walked And the other thing is he doesn't mind. He doesn't care because we take his iPad and throw it on there.
Oh.
He's doing exactly the same thing that he would be doing if he were not on the treadmill. He just happens to be walking, and so he just trucks along. Yeah, hour and a half. I'm like, you want to be done, kid? Yes. And he gets off.
He jumps off.
You know, but he doesn't. Although the other day it was funny because you can hear because when he's walking,
Yeah.
you hear the motor
Standard cadence.
You hear his feet going. And Wendy, she mentions to me, I gotta catch him not. He'll be standing with both feet on the rails, not running at all. She gives him a look and he gets back on. So she was talking about that. She's like, here now? We hear, and it's just the motor just. So we go in to give him a hard time. There was nobody there. It was just a treadmill running. It's like,
That's funny.
where did he go?
What the hell's going on?
So I came around the corner and he was coming out of the bathroom with his iPad. So he's definitely like the rest of us, videos on the pot. Actually, I don't do
Not
that.
me.
I cannot do
I
that.
don't even take a phone in the bathroom, man.
No, I mean, well, if it happens to be in my pocket, but yeah, that whole.
I'm not a bathroom person. I don't sit there and read.
No, it does.
I do my business. I get out.
Yeah, that's yes, pretty much. It's like I don't understand people that take a long time.
My older daughter, man, she'll spend an hour or two in the bathroom. Not even using the bathroom anymore. She's just sitting there, entertained.
Because there are more comfortable chairs in the house.
Yeah, she got that from her auntie. Her auntie was. I think what it is to them, I don't know. This is, I never asked, but I'm kind of guessing it's their little retreat. They just kind of go to the bathroom. They get some privacy. They can do their business.
Nobody messes with you.
Hour and a half later, you can come out of the bathroom when you're ready after you've watched all the videos you need to watch. Nobody messes with you because you're in the bathroom.
Found the end of the internet.
I think that's probably what she does. She just goes and she knows no one's gonna bug her.
Yep, nobody's gonna mess with you in the bathroom, unless there's only one bathroom.
That's a different story. That was the case of their old house. My sister-in-law and her husband and family. They only had one bathroom in that house.
Yeah. That is a business only room.
Yeah.
It's like, do what you gotta do.
3-bedroom house, one bathroom. It's like, what? Why?
Well, I guess that's just kind of old school.
I guess. I don't know. I have a 3-bedroom house, but I have a 2 1/4 bathroom. Master bathroom upstairs, a big bathroom with a bathtub, and then the bathroom that's attached to my room, the master bedroom, has a shower in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have that little sink and toilet bathroom down here, the quarter bath.
See, I originally had a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house.
One bedroom. One bath, that's all you need.
It was a
Unless you have like a family of 6.
It was like a 1948 farmhouse.
Right.
The boys' rooms upstairs, that was an attic. Straight up attic.
Okay.
Rafters.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And so that's been finished in. The room where the piano and all the other stuff is, and the treadmill and stuff. Right, we have an exercise music room that's in our house, so one of the boys will play piano for you while you run on the treadmill.
User size. Right?
Yes, the muser size. Like jazzercise, but with classical music. Anyhow, originally, so that room is a converted garage. I can tell if you can
You
tell.
mentioned that before.
If you look at that, it's like that was a garage, and they finished it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so originally the master bedroom, that was it. Bedroom, living room, kitchen. Which I don't know what the main bathroom. Maybe the main bathroom was the main bathroom.
Right.
So there have been some modifications.
Was there a bathroom in your bedroom?
There is a bathroom in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was there before. That might have been one of the additions.
One of the additions, okay.
So anyhow, but yeah, it was just a little old farmhouse. Actually, a big old farmhouse as far as like the amount of space, because it has a full basement too, right?
Yeah.
So it's got lots of room, but the actual living chunk of it was
You got that other section upstairs too that's not finished either.
Yeah, the unfinished attic.
Yeah.
That's still up there. We should finish that. But our septic system, because we're on septic, we're not on sewer, is rated at 3. So that's as many bedrooms as we have. have, or
Oh,
that's as many bedrooms
As they
as
can
we
handle.
can claim,
right.
right?
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Now you want to take the new family moves in and takes my recording studio and turns it into a bedroom? Well,
That's not bad,
okay,
yeah.
you know. But you do have to be careful of septic systems because they base septic systems off of bedrooms because it doesn't matter how many bathrooms you have. If there's only one person living in the house, that's the load that's going to be put on the septic system.
Right.
If you have one bedroom, one bathroom, and 50 people living in the house, that septic system is going to get a workout. You have 7 bathrooms and 2 people living in the house, well, there you go, you know. So septic systems are based on bedrooms, because generally speaking, a bedroom dictates how many people in the house.
People are pooping.
Yep. Like, how many people poop here? Are you trying to get me to count the people poopers? I'm trying to think of a word for quantifying that starts with P. Nope, ain't got it. I don't think there is one. They could have done like an alliteration with the people pooping products. Ah! Are you trying to get the population of the people pooping? Haha! There it is! Gotcha! Thank you. I'll be here all week. Saw something really bad today. There was an accident on the on-ramp to I-5. And there were at least 8 emergency vehicles on this whole, you know, because right there at Burlington, the on-ramp is that big loop.
Yeah.
8 emergency vehicles there, 1 motorcycle kind of turned up, and 1 stretcher. No sheet, no body, so hopefully person was still alive. Don't know. But 8 emergency vehicles.
A lot, yeah.
I only saw 1 motorcycle. Why are there so many? I mean, it just seemed like a lot of emergency vehicles.
Maybe they were all just kind of in the area and responded at once.
Seen that happen with cops and
It was
small
like,
towns.
oh, well, we don't need this many, but okay, we're all here.
I'm not doing anything else.
Right.
Tired watching the A&W parking lot. But yeah, that was pretty.
Seen that homeless guy eat his boogers 5 times now. Oh.
That's gross.
There's a homeless guy I noticed when I came back from practice on Saturday. I don't know the road, but it's down south from here, between here and Cooper. And he's huge. I don't know if it's Giant Jeff. Does he live down south?
He does.
Maybe it's Giant Jeff then.
Yeah, he's only homeless in the idea that he spends no time. I think he has a house. Not sure.
Well, he was at the bus stop, wherever that crossroad was down there. And I'm just driving by and I'm like, God, that guy's huge. He's just a big guy. You know, and I thought to myself, is that Giant Jeff? I don't know.
Was he all shaggy and unkempt?
Looked like he had beard.
Because there's another guy.
Silvery red gray hair, you know?
Yeah, that's
Jeff. Okay.
That's Jeff. Jeff, who has been stranded for, well, at least 8 years, because he was
been needing gas for 8 years.
He has been needing just gas to get home for 8 years.
He takes the bus.
He does take the bus. Well, he doesn't have any gas, so he's got to take the bus because the bus is free here.
I saw some kid the other day.
I mean, go ahead.
I saw some kid begging for gas the other day, out and about, and might have been Brandy and me. I can't remember. But this guy was probably like 22 years old, holding a gas can up. It's like, dude, you can get a job.
You know,
you're like 20 something years old, man.
You have unwittingly opened up serious topic number 1.
Oh, I'm ready for this, man.
All right, so the just need gas sign. I don't believe that even the person who writes that thinks that they need gas. Well, obviously they don't because they don't.
Right.
But none of us believe it.
Oh, we know.
I don't think, and I don't think we even think. I don't even think they're lying anymore. It's just that does not mean I need gas. It's like they're just begging for money. But the words on that piece of cardboard, just need gas type deal.
It's supposed to lighten the load.
Well, I don't think anybody is full. It's like that. We don't even register it as a ploy.
Right.
Like when I see that, I don't think, oh, that homeless person is trying to fool me into the fact that they just need gas. It doesn't mean that anymore. It's just like, it goes right over me. Zero emotional response, zero anything. Just
Right,
okay, you're begging for money.
Right.
That's it. That's like my whole thing. I think a lot of the signs, Army veteran, yada 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 yada. You know, and some of them, Vietnam vet. It's like, I'm sorry, man, but you have to at least look 60.
Like, you don't even. Yeah, you look nowhere
You
near
look younger than
the age
me.
of Vietnam vet. Vietnam.
It's like there's no way, because if you were in Vietnam and it affected you to the point that you were homeless, you would look 20 years older than what you are.
Right.
You know, because that means that you were traumatized. Because a lot of those vets were traumatized, and they did have a hard time, and they looked old because a rough life ages you.
Stress. Yeah.
You know, if you look 27, please take the Vietnam. Just ask for gas. Ask for gas. It's a lie we're all comfortable with. Just need gas. It's like, yep, no, I'm not giving you any money. Or here's $5. Who knows? Well, some people do that. But that brings up this whole thing about the redefinition of things, right? So just need gas doesn't mean just need gas. You don't think it. The person holding the sign doesn't think it. Now I don't know about you, but me, I don't think it, and it doesn't offend me. I don't feel like you're trying to pull one over on me. Like, that's the weird thing. I don't feel like you're trying to fool me. The lie is so transparent that you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. It's like,
I just think they're being lazy. You know?
yeah, it's just
So,
like,
it's like you're perfect capable of working.
yeah, I mean, you have the wherewithal to stand in one place for 8 hours. You could be moving little parts
Glove,
together.
like, hey, let's go get some gas. I'll pump it for you. Oh no, I'm good, man. You know.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
I've had that happen. It's like, I don't have any cash, but I got a card. Want to go get some gas? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Want gas or not?
Right. Obviously, you didn't really want gas.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually they will take food. You know, because everyone will take food. Although I've heard a story about a person who gave out apples and they had an apple thrown at them. Like, seriously? I just gave you something you can eat. Not filled with, like, processed foodstuffs and doesn't overstimulate your taste buds, and so you're mad at me because I gave you something healthy? What?
Never mind then.
Yeah.
I have plenty of apples. I'll give out for free.
Yeah. So we do occasionally hit the Would Be Help House. Because there are people. Let me finish series topic number 1, and then we'll move to series topic number 2, which you have also unwittingly opened. 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, we got time. I checked before we started series topic number 1. So the other day I was on Facebook, my personal political stomping ground, and the thing was tolerance, the paradox of tolerance. So here's the paradox of tolerance, in case you don't know, although you've heard it, because it's the weapon used. It's like these people parading around saying we need to tolerate everything, and then but they won't tolerate people who don't tolerate that stuff, and so they're intolerant even though they're preaching tolerance, right? So that's the paradox of tolerance. It's like, if you say you're tolerant, then you have to tolerate these people who are tolerant.
Almost sounds like a tongue twister too.
Yeah, that's saying the word intolerant a lot. It's a mouthful. Anyhow, so that's the paradox of intolerance. So this little meme said, well, we need to stop. It's like, well, the truth is that tolerance isn't a moral thing, it's a social contract. And so if you don't tolerate, you haven't held up your part of the social contract, and therefore I don't have to hold up my part of the social contract, and so I'm allowed to not tolerate you for being intolerant, and therefore, even though I'm intolerant, I'm still tolerant. Now that is a line of BS from beyond.
Yes, and that sounds like such total BS logic right there, you know.
And my problem with that is that is changing the definition of something to fit your argument.
Yeah, your
right?
argument.
All right. So tell me what functionality means. Don't just go with it. Just spew something as best you can.
To me, I don't know. To me, functionality means it's just a term a broad term that says there's one or multiple things that this program would do, the functions of this program.
Right.
You know?
And so,
The functionality isn't just one thing; it's a group of things.
right, okay, so let's say I come back with you, and I say, well, functionality is this, because I think, I'm just like, well, hard, because I agree with you on, I don't know enough devil's advocate on it.
I think I understand where you're going.
But it's like, I changed
Someone
the
tries
terms.
to make-
You and I are arguing, you're a C++ guy, and I'm a Java guy, right? And you're
Right.
like, oh, the functionality, and I'm like, well, no, because functionality only means this.
Right.
It's like, I changed the term functionality to fit my argument. Therefore, you lose because I've changed the definition of the term. And that's what this meme did, They changed the definition of the term, therefore they could feel better
Right.
about being intolerant and stuff like that.
Let me soften the blow of my hypocritism.
Hypocrisy?
Yes, words are hard today. Wording is hard.
Wording is hard.
Yes, my
Wow, hypocrisy?
hypocrisy. I have to make myself feel good about it, so I'm going to change the definition.
Right. And now,
Hypocrites.
now whether the tolerance thing, now me personally, I don't think tolerance is a virtue. I mean, like seriously. I mean, it's been proposed as a virtue. We should tolerate. Do we tolerate murderers?
Right?
Do we tolerate pedophiles?
No.
Do we tolerate people doing heroin in our living rooms?
No. But
People
certain
not
cities,
related to us that we don't
certain
know.
cities tolerate the use of heroin.
Right.
Portland.
Just Seattle up until recently. And they're talking about these new laws. These new laws about not being able to do drugs. I mean, you're telling me that Seattle never had a law against doing heroin in public? Right? So anyways, I don't think tolerance is a virtue. I do think we should tolerate some things. Right? So like you need to tolerate the fact that I'm irreverent about everything. I need to tolerate that you're a little more on the engineering side of life, like the way you think of things. I mean, seriously, there are differences between you and I that once in a while bump. I mean, they really do. And I tolerate you, you tolerate me. Of course, we're good buddies, but
That's part of just being in a relationship with somebody. Not
Right.
that kind of relationship. Just
we
we
tolerate.
have a relationship as friends, and so
Right.
we compromise to keep that thing strong.
Right. So here's a better one. We tolerate sour beers.
But you know what we don't tolerate? Goza.
Yeah, but that's not beer. We don't have to worry
Because
about
it's not beer, we don't tolerate it.
Anyways, we're being silly with that, but seriously, there are things that you need to tolerate. It's just like, that is not a hill to die on. That is not something that's important. Just let it slide, Tolerate whatever. People wearing their ball caps backwards. Ooh, I can't. It's like, who cares if he wears it frontwards or backwards? Now, granted, if he's wearing sunglasses and his ball cap's backwards, we get to laugh at him.
I mean, nothing says you can't have your opinion and think something's ridiculous.
Right, but for that to be the hill to get outraged over,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, okay,
Oh my
you're
God.
just hurting yourself, man.
It's like, you're just expending energy for nothing.
But I think there are other things, and we'll just stop right there because it'll get deep controversial real quick. But there are other things that we don't necessarily need to tolerate. Maybe there are some things that society accepts right now that I'm like, we shouldn't accept.
Oh no, I agree. Again, I'm not gonna name them, but
Right.
yes, there are things that are tolerated that I think should not be.
Right.
I think these things enable other things.
Yeah, and I think they are deleterious to society.
Ooh, what a good word.
It is a good word, right? Because I got a psychology degree.
Deleterious.
And it means damaging. It means exactly what it sounds like it means. 4 minutes and 24 seconds. I'm keeping an eye on that. Which means I'm keeping my mind on it. Because I'm good at this beer thing. I'm not. Steve is, though. So, anyhow.
I'm just along for the ride today, literally.
Right. But it's your job to keep me on track. That is your job. Because it's a 90-minute boil. And so that puts me here late. And if we keep drinking these 8 ounces.
Yeah, after this, that's why I grabbed the small glasses too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's we'll swap over to some all days.
Yeah, so
we'll do a couple of those.
Lower
before we get back.
ABV.
Right.
Yeah, good idea.
Because those things are only like what 4.4 something like that, 4.5. I mean, they'll get you drunk if you drink enough of them, but much slower.
Yes, well, any amount of alcohol, if you drink enough of it in a short enough amount of
Right.
time. Yeah.
And we don't. Jamie and I do not drink for the sole purpose of getting drunk. We enjoy the side effect of the buzz, but that's not why we hang out and drink beer. We like the taste of beer. We truly do like the taste of beer. That's why we make it. You know?
That's why I don't drink hard alcohol, because I don't enjoy the taste of hard alcohol. I don't enjoy whiskeys. Some of the mixed drinks, yeah, I enjoy, but the truth is, it's like, can you get that? It's like, it tastes just
Well,
like Kool-Aid.
That's why it's a mixed
Let's
drink.
drink Kool-Aid.
That's why they're mixed drinks, because they offset the flavor of the whiskeys or other gins or whatever vodkas, the alcohol with the fruity sweetness or whatever whatever the case might be. You know, that's why they're mixed drinks.
Exactly, but my point is that if it tastes like this,
Yeah.
well, let's just drink that. It's like, well, why would you do that? Because I can drive home after drinking 3 gallons of it.
Right.
I drink 2 of those made the real way, and I'm staying at your house tonight.
It's like, can I use your couch, bro? Yeah.
Don't mind if I make a lot of noise at 4 in the morning as I leave to go get my kid. Yeah, well, but the point is, all right, mixed drinks aside, I don't like whiskeys. I don't like sipping whiskeys. I don't like shots, tequilas, all those hard liquors. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the flavor of wine either. You know, but I do enjoy the flavor of beer.
Yeah. No, that's fine, Herbie.
You know, and really, this is about. There are a few super high alcohol beers out there that I can handle. But for the most part, if I can taste the alcohol in your beer, it's like, no, man, you've ruined the flavor of this beer.
You didn't do it right, yeah.
Yeah, this would have been a really great Scotch ale, except it sounds like feels like you poured 3 shots of whiskey in it.
Yeah.
You know, it comes rolling back up through your nose, that alcohol fumey
But you
thing.
just taste it, that
Yeah,
apple flavor, you're just like,
like,
ooh, this tastes like rubbing alcohol. You know?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do mouthwash and beer at the same time.
I've had a beer like that. It was in New Mexico. How it is, 9% or something Diablo, Red Diablo, whatever. And, you know, had a pint of it. I couldn't finish it. It's just like, balls.
Yeah. So,
But I've also had really good high octane beers. I had a beer called Dragon's Milk about a month ago at my friend Vinny's house. The bottle was labeled 11%. Did not taste like alcohol.
well, that Wee Heavy you made.
Yeah, that was a 10.2%er, man.
And it tasted great.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was ruined because I
It's
did that.
about time, girl. We've been waiting for you.
I did that. I did the the ABV calculation. I'm like, oh no, this thing's over 10% if I did it right, and then yeah, it didn't taste like it, but you sure felt it though. I remember drinking 2 of those one night. DJ mode couldn't even happen. Like it couldn't even happen. I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed. You know,
Try.
trying to type in Metallica and I'm getting everything else.
Every letter but Metallica. So, important topic number 1, the wrap up, is this whole changing of definitions.
Right, to fit the narrative.
And eventually they stop meaning things. Words that don't mean anything anymore. Racist. Racist doesn't mean anything.
You're a racist. No,
It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not racist. Racist, bigot. All these things.
Another one that doesn't mean anything anymore. White privilege. Oh yeah, white privilege.
Yeah, it does. It has no
whatever the hell
meaning.
that means.
It's bandied about so often, and it's just like you've killed the meaning of it. It's just like so. Yeah, that was just interesting topic number 1. I've forgotten what interesting topic number 2 is.
There was kind of a segue into it.
Something about homeless. What did you say?
Well, I thought that was
Talking about homeless people. Okay, let's focus on the beer because it is a 90-minute boil.
Let's get this going.
Keep going back to what we were talking about.
Well, we were talking about Giant Jeff and
Right.
and then like tolerance, and then that was like serious topic number 1 was tolerance.
And you said
I said something that kind of triggered an idea in your head.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember what it was either.
Oh, it's gone. In the future, I'm writing these things down. I'm bringing a pen and paper.
Why? You have a phone. You can just.
That includes using technology, man. I'm not good at that. I mean, it's the most I can do to get this whole thing going. I don't understand the functionality.
Oh, there's Slim.
You could probably go ahead and turn it up a little bit because it's dry malt, and so.
Oh, that's not gonna scorch. All right, I killed it though.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to sharpen my knife. more than 2 shots to do.
Freaking if.
Well, I really do need to sharpen my knife. I used it to cut shingles.
Oh, yeah.
That'll kill you.
That's
What am I doing?
cut big sandpaper in the car, you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't recall what was said that kind of triggered. Oh, that's topic number 2, but maybe it'll come back to us.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm trying to think as I do this. It had something to do with just the homeless intolerance. Those are the things we're talking about. And then, what's this piece of paper?
The recipe. I used it as a guide to make sure that all the
Good deal.
because you know that one time mistakes happen. You know,
Mistakes do happen, and there's no strikes.
Before I left, I didn't do it right in front of them, but I took it
Right.
out to the car and just kind of checked it to make sure didn't forget anything, which it happens. Nobody's perfect, you know.
Right. If we make a mistake though, it's not like we can just fix it.
Yeah.
It's like, so we're not brewing this week because
I don't have any yeast.
yeah, we left the yeast in Mount Vernon, Burlington actually.
Or that one time the yeast blew up on me the first time.
Now that was
That was nobody's fault.
That's just
It was just like, except it was Breeze's fault because Breeze's
White Yeast.
White
Labs.
It was Y-Lab's fault because their packaging was faulty in that particular case.
I think they had a run of bad packaging because
It happened to you too, didn't it? Yeah.
Yes, I got lucky and it didn't explode, but it definitely leaked.
You're just like, whoa.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, and
No,
I
mine
put it
I was
into another
wearing.
container and stuff.
So every time I smack a pack now, I'm always kind of. I don't hit it hard. I just kind of give it a pop,
Right.
and then it doesn't seem to take as much pressure. You have comments?
Yes, okay. Jade is awesome. You know why?
Hi, Jade.
Would you like to hear the comment?
Of course.
I've had the stream open since the opening song. I just wasn't here. Yes!
You are awesome.
Yeah. You are cool. Because we often say that. We don't care. Go ahead. Open it up and just like throw it on the bed. We are doing great. She says, how are we? We are doing great. Brewing beer, as always, talking
Oh yeah.
about nothing and everything all at once. Everything everywhere all at once, which was not nearly as psychotic as I wanted it to be.
Was it chaotic enough, man?
Well, because it was...
Dude.
Oh, go for it.
I was like, you're wearing it.
What the? Alright, so somebody else needs to fix their packaging. Thank you. This is kind of a mess. This is a freaking design. Haha! You can wear it too. Dry malt extract for everyone.
Are we making bread? What are we doing here, man?
This is a disaster. Holy crap! I give up. Today we have to sweep your floor. Usually we have to mop. Today we sweep.
All right.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
It's a garage, man.
I know, but still.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, we got Jade on the line. So Jade, I was in your neck of the woods a couple weeks ago. My family and I went and saw the Metallica concert. I have a friend that lives literally on the corner of 6th and Madison. And no, is it 6th? Anyway, he lives 6th and Madison. And stayed in his apartment, walked the Lumen Field from his apartment. Anyway, had a good time in Seattle. It was fun. Did you go to Metallica by the way? We went both nights. So.
So if Jade's been here since the opening song, that means that she was lurker number 1. We are the first viewer,
Right.
which means my wife might be number 3.
Is there another viewer on there now?
Yeah, we've had 3 viewers for about 20 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
We had 2 viewers for a while. Obviously, one was Jade. Well, actually, it was her phone or her tablet or whatever,
Well, sometimes we
sitting
get
in her house somewhere.
folks from Urkrum's mansion to just kind of hang out for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, War 94.
War
whatever.
one time. I think Solid UK hung out one time, you know.
Yeah, they just kind of hang out and listen, or don't
It's like,
listen.
you silly Americans.
Everybody's silly.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness, that's twice. I really gotta sharpen this knife. I mean, seriously, look at that. It gets almost to the edge and then it just tears it, and now we've got this. What a frickin' soup sandwich this is! help pouring sugar into water. I mean, seriously, man, you should not have to be doing this. But no, the packaging is just Oh my gosh!
We're only on beer number 2 as far as what we've been drinking.
What the heck is going? Oh my goodness!
Maybe this clone is stronger than I thought it was, man.
Yeah, apparently so. Good job on this. This isn't even the clone. This is the blonde stout.
It is the blonde, isn't it?
Yeah, we drank the clone earlier.
Well, the
Who knows?
the blonde stout is stronger than the clone.
Oh,
The clone is only like a 7.5-er. You know?
no, 7.5 to 7.7.
No, that's
only
8.
0.2.
That's
Oh,
like
this is
8.
8.
Something like that.
I don't know. We'll taste mine. We'll figure out how hard mine gets later. So, guess what I was doing last night? All night. Alright, that's on you. That's on you. I was not controlling the spoon.
Oh yeah, no, I made a mess on that one. Yeah, it's due for a good mopping.
Yeah, you think? My feet are sticking to your floor.
You got some scorch.
Yeah, it is. It's a little scorchiness. Oh my goodness. I'm actually gonna have to wash my pants after brewing beer.
Alright. What were you doing last night that
Okay,
better
apparently-
not be dirty?
Alright, there's someone before me. There is always someone before everyone, and that is me, because we have a laptop way across. That's what we're using the main computer. But neither Steve nor I have eyes good enough to see your comments clear over there. So we always have the monitoring on my iPad right here. And so the first viewer is always me on my other channel. I have another YouTube channel. It's my name, Jamie Aston. It's mainly it's not as active. It doesn't have as many live. Well, it's kind of the inverse of this one. It has almost, in fact, I don't think it has any live broadcasts, but it has more polished videos. I got mainly concerts of my kids. I got some videos that I made, like music videos of some songs I've written. I've got some music videos of songs I've written, and then I've got a couple videos of my kids' concerts. One, I guess you could call it a music video. My kids did pictures at an exhibition, the Mussorgsky piece, and it was during COVID, so we couldn't put on a concert. So instead, we went to their piano teacher's house and filmed a video using her pianos, because she has really nice pianos. I mean, they're not like $100,000 Steinways that are 9 feet long, but they're like 6.5, 7 foot, and they're like,
5-figure pianos, I think.
oh, like 20 grand a piece, and she has 2 of them. Yeah.
I guess you're that serious. I get it. I bought
Well,
guitars. I get it.
yeah.
Right, $20,000 guitars.
I never would buy a $20,000 guitar. I don't think a $20,000 guitar. I don't think you're gonna find that much sound quality coming out.
Yeah,
of it.
if you drop 20 grand on a guitar, it's because somebody's name was attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Same reason as I probably wouldn't go above $15,000-$20,000 on a piano either. You know, I might go that much because a piano is a lot of wood and a lot of steel and a lot of.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of material that goes into it.
Right,
Yeah, the
so
craftsmanship. Yeah.
Just material and work to build a piano is a lot more material and work to build a guitar. Not necessarily more skill, not necessarily more artistry. Not necessarily that, but just raw output. It's like, okay, so I would pay more for a piano. It's a bigger check just in the amount of wood you're gonna pay more. But I wouldn't pay $150,000 for a piano. I'm sorry, no. It's like, don't you hear the difference? No, I don't. I hear the difference between a 6-foot grand and a 10-foot grand for sure. A lot of that's volume. The two big differences you're gonna hear there: volume and bass notes. Those big long bass strings can reproduce those big bass notes that much easier. Right? But as far as the sound quality, it's like, nope. I don't hear the difference between 20 grand and 100 grand. I don't.
A similar argument applies to the electric guitar world. People argue, like, construction and pickups. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you buy we'll just say a $2,000 guitar, it's gonna sound just as good as that stupid $7,000 Gibson. I shouldn't say stupid, but you know what I mean. Just you're paying for the name. You're paying for what's attached to it. You know.
Right.
The workmanship is gonna be about the same. I'm sure there's some guitars that are very like, where the money counts is when you get a true custom made guitar, not a assembly line guitar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If you get a truly custom made guitar, these are my specs. Here's my measurements. I want a neck this long. I want the frets this far apart, or whatever has to be, whatever for the
Right.
The body needs to be this contour. This then yeah, you're gonna spend a little bit of money. Yeah.
But at that
And I think
point,
it'd be worth it though.
right. But at that point, I mean, for you to utilize an instrument like that to its potential,
It probably counts more in the acoustic world than it does.
yeah, a little more. But I mean,
pickups
I think,
are
well,
pickups color the sound.
yeah, but the neck is important. Your personal playing style, the
Yeah.
way it feels, the way
Oh,
all
sure.
that fun stuff. You know, the bout, the lower bout, how your arm sits on the bout, and all that fun stuff.
Right.
I mean, if you're a high-end guitarist who's really dialed in his technique, you know, not like me. It's like you pretty much throw me on any guitar and I'll play about the same level as on any guitar, right? Because I'm just a wang bang country, cowboy chord player, just basically rhythm guitar for my singing. That's why I play guitar. I enjoy playing leads and fooling around with stuff like that, but I'm not a guitarist, if you know what I mean.
No, I know, I follow you, man.
So, anyways, I was just thinking something. Oh, well, you were going off on that, but in the meantime, Jade says, I don't go to concerts. I'm a smart, wise woman and I value my ears. And so I've decided to sacrifice my own personal pleasure in interest of preserving my physical integrity.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but they do make earplugs for that. But
Well, that's not really what she said. She just said too loud for me.
no, everybody, we all wore earplugs
Oh yeah.
at the show. Yeah, I mean it was loud, but it wasn't. I don't know, man.
She says, I did, however, listen to the free car show last night. LOL. RCMP shut them down because a Karen complained.
Huh.
What?
I don't know.
Are you in Canada? Royal Canadian Mounted Police? Isn't that the RCMP?
Maybe.
We thought you were in Seattle. Isn't she in Seattle?
Maybe. Well, I think she had mentioned being in Seattle. Maybe she goes to Canada.
Are you hanging out in Canada?
I'm gonna grab beer.
Do they actually have rebellious people in Canada? I thought they all just were maple syrup and bacon testers. Sat around in cardigans with scarves and toques. Eh? We don't have any Canadian viewers, do we? If we
Not
don't, we
anymore.
never will. Not anymore.
Not anymore. No, that one when we were on, was it Haps? I think we had a Canadian viewer that used to talk with us.
Oh, that's right, we did.
I don't remember their name, but yeah, it was. I mean, they said they were from Canada or in Canada.
Right, I do remember.
Was it Haps?
It was Haps. We started on Haps,
Okay.
and Haps just destroyed themselves.
They're just like,
away.
We're gonna go under now.
Well, it was. So the problem with Haps was a victim of its own popularity. What happened is that Haps started out as being niche, niche, however you want to say it. Niche. I think my wife hates watching it. Say niche.
He hates the word niche or he hates the word
Niche. Nietzsche.
That's an author.
It is. He went crazy. Which tells his children that philosophy is not a good field to go in. It drives you insane. And it is of little use to anyone because there are so many philosophers with so many conflicting views. And
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous.
yet here we are just sailing along. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know why modern day I don't know where philosophy would fit in modern education. 2,000 years BC, I can understand, but
so she's up in BC.
oh,
Okay. Good on you. All those negative, mean things I said about Canada, I was being sarcastic. I was like, that's what the other broadcaster people say about Canada. We just love them because they have Labatt Blue, which to be
I do
honest,
like Labatt Blue.
just yeah. What's the Labatt? My friend.
Isn't Kokanee from Canada?
Oh, it is, and we like Kokanee.
Kokanee.
It's like Canadian Coors Light, really. It's a little more
Right.
interesting than Coors
I
Light.
like Moosehead.
See? Okay. All right, Canada. You know what? My friend Steve has argued you are a noble country, and we'll hug a beaver as soon as we find one.
Oh,
Wait,
I mean,
do
I know-
beavers bite? I bet
Yes,
they bite.
beavers bite.
Okay, I'm not going to be hugging any beavers for you, but
So all jokes aside, I mean, I know we're just kind of having fun, but remember my Canadian YouTuber I used to like, that used to yell at clouds all the time.
Glenn
Glenn
Fricker.
Fricker. He had a T-shirt on one time that I loved it. It was so funny. It said, "Living the American dream," like in big letters, and then smaller it said, "Without all the violence." I'm like, man, that's so true because he's Canadian, you know.
Right.
he's prospering, the North, this American dream we have, but no violence or minimal violence. It's always funny though.
Well, it's interesting, particularly now, if you follow politics. And we're not going to
Well, I
go
know
down.
Canada's.
But no, what's interesting is that
There's people getting pissed off right now.
for the most part, people, I think non-political people, they think Canada is exactly like the United States. I'm talking about non-political.
Right.
Right. And I know that, when I was younger, I pretty much felt the way. It's like, it's Canada. They're just like us. Yeah, they're a different country, but it's Canada.
I know what you mean. Like generally, yeah, they're just
It's like
right.
they speak the same language.
They
do
get up,
the
they go to
same
work,
thing.
go home, and have kids
Yeah,
like anybody else.
Everything's just the same. But no, Canada is truly a completely
Hey, I watch
different
Letterkenny.
country.
I know, man. I love that show, by the way. I haven't seen it for a
I
while.
bet you watched, what was it, In Living Color? Did you watch that too? I never watched that.
Sunday nights, man. It was on Sunday nights. I only learned recently that was a Canadian show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember back home in it was like 89, 90 time frame is when I remember watching Living Color. And it was like a Sunday lineup on Fox. It was In Living Color. It's Gary Shandling, Simpsons, something else too. Oh, what was that show with the Corky? It was the Down syndrome kid. It was like a family show.
I'm offended.
Drama.
Continue. I'm obviously not offended.
Oh god, the character's name was Corky. The actor really had Down syndrome, and it was a family drama. It was a Sunday night family drama. All in the Life or something like that. No, not Fashion. Anyway, that was like the Sunday lineup, man.
I really don't know. My mom really was anti-TV growing up, so we did not watch a lot of TV. What's interesting is I kind of embraced that. It's like
I don't watch a lot of TV.
it's like I don't think TV is the devil. Like my mom really thought TV. I don't quite hate TV that much, but it's just like there are so many better.
There's just nothing on the TV to watch, really.
Yeah, well, it's
At least
just
in
like
no,
you're
it's
right.
all the
I mean,
same regurgitated crap. In my
it's the
opinion.
same. The stuff that's on TV is the same stuff that is on the movies.
Every now and then they come out with a good series, I'll watch the 8 or 10 episodes of it, and it's like, oh, it wasn't too bad.
Although I have been getting into anime lately.
See, a lot of people would argue that's bad television.
It's cartoons.
But I'm not bagging on anime because both my daughters like anime. My younger one still loves anime. There's been some interesting episodes. It's changed over the years though. From when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was Vampire Hunter D and Ninja Scrolls, like the main ones, and then now it's just they're very strange. Some of the stories are really strange. I'm like, wow, I do not understand what's going on.
No,
And my daughter's like, "We're dumb then, Dad,"
The programs that I watch have linear story arcs. So I watched one that was called Demon Slayer,
I know Demon Slayer.
based off a manga.
She watches Demon Slayer, yeah.
Manga or manga? Tell us in the comments. If you want to say manga, put an H in there. Specifically after the first A, just for those of you that might not get
It's
it.
probably manga because the Robotech spin-off or a predecessor, they call it Macross.
Okay.
Not Macross, it's Macross.
That's weird because I've always said Macross in my mind. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
although I don't.
I
But I know the Macross.
it's either like a predecessor or it's It's all part of the same world for the Robotech
Right, the same
story.
universe.
Yeah. And, maybe it's even a parallel story. I don't remember, but I know people corrected me and said no, it's Macross, and I'm like, oh.
Okay. So manga. Anyway, so Demon Slayer is based off of manga. So frustrated because I was really hoping. Here's the nice thing I like about these things, right? So they end, right? So we're doing this off of a manga. Well, the manga was written and it's done.
Oh yeah, story's done. Yep.
Right. So we watch all 97 episodes.
Yep.
That's fine. It's 97 episodes.
But they're like 15 minutes of even.
They are. I mean, if you skip past the intro and the end.
Oh yeah, it's like 8 minutes of action.
And the weird credits in the middle of some of them. That's weird. I'm watching this anime and it's like there's a credit scene in the middle. It's like 2 minutes of credits. I was like, wait, is it over? There was only, and then it goes into the same. It's like, what in the world? So you gotta pretty much spend the whole thing with the remote in your hand.
Yeah.
So you can fast forward past that.
There was some during the summer when the kids were out of school. I'd get home from work and Bailey would be up and she's like, "Dad, let's watch some anime." Like, okay. We put on some anime and she's trying to explain it to me and I'm just like, okay. But one of them was Demon Slayer. So we watched like a whole season of Demon Slayer after work, because we watched probably 3 or 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. It would just be like, it start, and then it goes, there's like a credit thing, and then it would continue, and then it go into credits. And we would just fast forward through all that. So yeah, the actual story was like 8 minutes of animation. You know what I mean?
It's a half-hour episode with 8 minutes. It's like you burn through a whole bunch of them. But in any case, the thing about it is that it has an ending. Now, in Demon Slayer's case, they haven't finished it yet. There's supposed to be a 3-part movie type thing coming out.
I'll tell you another one. Not the live-action version of this, but the actual anime version or the manga version. It does not seem to have an ending. One Piece.
Really?
Good Lord, man.
Is it still going?
It's like huge. It doesn't end.
I don't think I'm going to be watching One Piece.
But just way it was being described to me by my daughter. It's like, wait, what do you mean there's 1,000 episodes? I'm exaggerating, but it's just like,
nope,
it just sounded ridiculous. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's that many,
Alright, so Jade says, I don't think it matters what you watch. Someone will always argue with you about why you're a terrible person for watching.
You know what? You are correct.
And this brings us back to
I can watch
topic
Sesame
number
Street
1.
and I would be a terrible person because for some reason Elmo was in there and it was inappropriate in some way.
Right, because the guy who did Elmo was suspected of doing. Was he ever convicted of that? I think he was only suspected of doing like some pretty nasty things.
What, touching kids or something, or
it's something like that. I don't know, some sexual impropriety thing.
Oh.
I don't think it might not have even been kids. The point was
something.
He quit.
Farm machinery or something, I say that tongue in cheek, but there are people that there's a name for it. They have a sexual attraction to machinery. Like people have died trying to screw a tractor.
I think we should not go down this particularly.
I mean, it's a rabbit hole.
Dark, but sticky rabbit hole.
It's legitimate, man. I'm not even kidding.
We're doomed. Yeah. Or maybe we're not doomed. Maybe you and I are going to own the world because everyone else is going to whoop.
Florida man dies, because he tried to have sex with a tractor, some kind of machine,
a baler,
some kind of baler or machinery, and he got sucked in. No pun intended.
In any case, what people want for entertainment, that is one of those areas. Yes, you should tolerate that.
Yeah, everybody's different, man.
You like to listen to baby metal and you're a 60-year-old man? Yeah, it's kind of pedophilic, but as long as you don't go any further than that, there you go.
Well, here's my argument to that. Not that I listen to baby metal. They're like 45 years old.
Yes, but they represent themselves as 15-year-old Catholic schoolgirls.
They look like they're 12.
Yes, thank you.
And I was getting there.
You were getting there.
Yes, she looks like she's 12, but she's like 46.
Well, she's also
lives in Japan. Exactly.
My friend Yoko, she's a year older than me, and she looks like she's 28.
Well, I noticed that when I lived over there. I mean, with Japanese women, they look very young up to a point.
Until they get old.
And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God!
And then they look like they were born in
Japanese
2000 BC.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you go from perpetually young to
I'm not saying all of a sudden these are ugly women. They don't show their age until they reach a threshold.
And then,
they're typically up there in the years, So you see a 65-year-old Japanese woman, you're like, man, you don't look a day over 30, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they turn 71, and you're like, oh, Crypt Keeper.
You look 90. There are only two ages in Japan: 20 and 97.
I know, right?
That's it. They're perpetual. Well, three ages: 8,
Right.
20, and 97.
97, yeah. Must be all the weird things that you.
Puberty must be horribly traumatic. You're just walking down the hall and BAM! Oh, I look 28 now. Fully functional, all
So sudden!
all the hormones, all the transition, all at once, 15 seconds, walking down the hall, just BAM! Ah! Alright, we're on IPAs now, right?
We are on IPAs.
Okay, because we're getting a little good.
Very, very light IPAs.
That is good.
You're probably rolling our eyes just like,
Yeah.
boys will be boys.
You know, feel free to throw the phone or the tablet or whatever you watch us on back on the counter and go do something productive. We will not be hurt.
Or write a comment and tell us that we're
Yes.
being stupid.
Heckle us. Nobody ever heckles
No one
us.
ever
Everybody's
heckles
too
us, man.
nice.
We heckle the world, but we don't get any heckle back.
That's true. We bag on everybody, even our friends, the English friends and Canadians. And, you know, have we attacked the Mexicans lately? Let's not.
No, we don't really need to.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
No, there's like nothing going on right now that we could attack, I don't think.
No, Mexico. Well, the problem with Mexico is the things that could be critiqued about them are serious problems that are not funny.
Yeah.
You can't make light of them. You cannot make light of the cartels.
No,
You know,
because
that
people
is
die.
some serious crap that they.
Because people die, you know.
Yeah, and they really need to take care of it. And the problem is they just. I don't know why South
You're
America.
like close to one.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know why South America is so plagued with these horrible governments. Why is it? You know, this is a weird thing, right? So I'm not a supremacist of anything really. Well, I will say I'm a Christian supremacist, but we'll just leave that one sit. I know it's weird. How can you beat that? It's like, sorry.
Actually, your knife sucks.
What?
I said your knife sucks.
My neck is not doing well.
I don't want you to lose any hops.
What's I got? Okay.
This thing is sealed very well.
Maybe we should go get some scissors?
Wow. I will.
And now it's Jamie alone. Alright, so talking about South America, Central America. Their governments, I mean, they just have the hardest time. All of them have had dictators up into the 80s and early 90s. I mean, what is it? And here's the weird thing. It's like, if you look around the world, maybe this is just my bias, but it seems like, you know, the parts of the world that have managed to figure themselves out and get rid of the problems is kind of Western civilization, you know? It's like Europe, France, Germany, Spain, although Spain has had some serious problems with the Catalonia region. There was some serious, Spain was imprisoning political dissidents, which of course over here in America, that's like the big thing. It's like using the government to go after political rivals. And so we won't say anything about the past 2 years in our country where the government has been going after a specific political rival, which is just interesting, whatever the side of the fence you're on. But, you know, Spain's had that problem, but what I'm talking about, just to catch you up, is the fact that Western civilization seems to have figured out the government thing. Like we've managed to rein our governments in more or less. There we go. We are boiling. We should go to pot camp. But we've managed to rein our governments in to the point where we're not having a real hard time with governments doing bad things. Although I would say, and this is an American supremacy thing, I would say that the United States kind of has, we've done it best. Because in England, there are definitely people who have been arrested for things that they have said on Facebook that were not incitement of violence in anything. It was something as just an opinion thing. I don't believe that that person is actually a woman. Something like that.
Right.
And they got arrested for it. And so this is a problem.
Aggressive boil.
Yeah, it is kind of an aggressive boil, isn't it?
Controlled.
However, that is nothing in light, or the woman who got arrested for silently praying in an abortion clinic zone.
Right.
Not even in the clinic, just close enough to the clinic that she was in. So, and I get what the government, they were trying to prevent the harassment, right? They don't want people to get harassed.
I brought this and we don't need it.
Oh yeah, well that's because you're kind of automatic mode, but that's
Yeah.
all right. Is that under control?
I think so. That looks
All right.
pretty good to me.
Let's go ahead and add some hops. Go, little hops. Hop, 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 hop. That's nice. This is comedic gold this time around. You know that? All right, maybe not. I think I'm funny.
It was good, dude.
All right, good. But anyhow, getting back to, I just don't know why, like, South America has had such a problem. You know? It's like they have these, their governments are horrible. El Salvador, I mean, the salvation, the savior. That's what their country, the El Salvador, the savior. Oh my goodness. And MS-13 was the de facto government.
Not anymore.
Was it El Salvador that did the crackdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. But at one point, there was like, or like in Haiti. You know, I realize Haiti isn't Central America, but where the gangs, these criminal gangs, are strong enough that they can go against the federal government. That's like the Crips and the Bloods and the Latin Kings and whoever else these other gangs are out there, having enough organization and enough power to go toe to toe with the FBI. And you're saying, this is ours. You don't come here. And it's not like some tough turf thing. It's like legit. The FBI does not go to that neighborhood, you know, or that city.
Right.
You know, we own Los Angeles. You don't come to Los Angeles. The laws here are determined by the Bloods. And Oakland, the laws there are determined by the Crips or whatever, right? It's like, it's like, why does South America have that problem? They both have a South and an A, okay? Leave me alone. You fed me strong beer. I blame you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems like that's the trend, you know?
Mm-hmm. So,
Do
for
they tend
Mexico,
to be more socialist down there, or
well,
you know, I don't know. I've not studied South America, you know, or
well, I
Central
do
America.
know this, that there's a strong movement. What is it called? It has a term, but it's like social justice theology or something. But basically,
You start your timer?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt you.
1 hour, 27 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Okay. So I'll probably do that here soon.
What's that?
Empty your.
Oh, pour that
on.
into the wort chiller, which is where? Right there. Let's see it. Oh, there it is. Haha, there it is. Right. This is a long boil, though. We got time.
I know.
But anyhow, just yeah, it's. I don't understand why South America. I mean, because they've been looking at us, you know. Unless this whole economic hitman thing has more credence than could be.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, no. It's like, still people are still people. They can still look at their government and say, no.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
It's like,
That doesn't make sense.
why do we have it figured out? Or what is it? Well, I can tell you one thing, and here we go into controversy land. You got your spurs on?
Yeah.
We own guns. Straight up. It's like, and they don't know which of us owns guns. The anonymous nature of our gun ownership is one of the most powerful things about our gun ownership.
Right. Keeps things at bay, you know.
Right. Because if the law agencies or the federal government agencies know who owns the guns, then it's easy to come through a neighborhood and say, okay, focus on that house, and that house. And nobody can see me gesturing because they're all looking at a pot of boiling beer. That's okay. I'm gesturing. Look at me gesturing. Point being, though, they can go to these different houses because they know where the guns are, right? But right now, they could come into your neighborhood and it's like, well, so who owns the gun? Who do we need to be worried about? And of course, all of this is assuming some evil government crackdown. But here's the thing. That sounds like a conspiracy theory until you look at other countries. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela was amazing. They were the #1 richest country in South America. And in less than a generation, they have fallen into abject poverty. People fleeing their country, not because of oppression, but because they're starving to death. There's no medical, there's no beer. They ran out of beer.
That's cause for national emergency.
So I don't care who gets elected. I'm not pulling the whole I'm leaving the country thing. But if America runs out of beer, I'm out. Probably go to England because they seem to have some amazing beers. They got all the brown ales, the IPAs.
You know what else they have?
Fish and chips.
Manchester United!
Right! And we don't even know what football's about. Soccer. Something. I don't follow it. Although my coworker Greg, oh my goodness, that dude, he actually gave me an evil look. As I said, hey, I'm going to Japan in whenever, right? And he's like, when are you going? In 2026. I was like, I don't know. He's like, you're not going in the summer. World Cup's coming to Seattle. He's like,
he wants to go to the World Cup. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he will burn things down to get there.
Okay.
So anyhow,
Let me guess. His kids play soccer.
his kids do play soccer. Oh my goodness, he's a soccer coach. He coaches his kids soccer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of coaching soccer, that was the first time I ever felt old. I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, tell me the story.
I was stationed in Jacksonville, and one of my coworkers was doing like this soccer coaching thing. He said, "Hey man, you want to help me do this?" It was like a extracurricular thing for one of the schools, whatever. He's like, "Hey, I need help. If you want to help me out with coaching." I'm like, "Sure." So I helped him out. Not that I was a soccer expert, but I knew calisthenics and stuff. And
Sure.
these were teenagers, and so
Yep.
they listened.
Okay,
Like,
so
all right, we're gonna go running,
hold your story, because the door is going to overload you.
So anyway, it was one of the days we had practice. Practice was over, and I had started my car to get ready to leave. Mind you, this would have been like 1998, maybe 99. I can't remember what year it was exactly. And I had a cassette playing. Yes, a cassette playing. It was some Ozzy Osbourne record from the day, And one of the kids walked over to my car, and they were listening, like, "Who is that?" I'm like, Ozzy Osbourne. They're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Ozzy, you never heard of Ozzy?" They're like, "No." All right. That's the first time I ever felt old, and I was like 22 years old, man. Actually, no, I was probably a little older than that, but I was probably closer to 24. But still, I was just like, "What?" And again, it was like it would be music that some of my age, unless you're a metalhead, probably would have been into, because it was early Ozzy, and I was,
I'm trying to think.
20 something, early 20s.
Ozzy has been mainstream for a while. I mean,
Not anymore.
well, no, but that's just because just like saying that Dwayne Allman isn't
Well, he was
mainstream.
definitely mainstream in the 80s and then the early 90s.
Right. I mean, he wasn't. I guess I'm saying he wasn't like Metallica, right? So before Bob Rock, Metallica, very very specific listening audience.
Oh, they were just more underground, you know.
Right. But I think Ozzy managed to make it onto the radio. I know that Iron Maiden made it onto the. So
Point is, in like 1998, 99, whatever year it was, modern day Ozzy was not as popular as it used to be. Still around, obviously. But I was playing something from probably like Bark at the Moon or whatever. I don't know what it was. It was early 80s Ozzy, 80s Ozzy. It was probably at least 10 or more years old, whatever I was listening to.
it was still. I mean, that stuff was still kind
I
of.
just don't think it was as relevant as it was anymore,
It was on, I guess what I'll call it, the rebellious edge,
Maybe.
right?
Anyway, just that kid, that teenager, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 years old, was just like, the hell's this? Who? Never heard of them, I'm just like, I'm only 20, about to be 24, whatever it was, and I feel old now.
I'm old.
I'm old. Now I'm just like, whatever. Everything I listen to, I'm not surprised if most people, south of 30 would know who I'm listening to.
Yeah. Especially some of the bands you listen to.
Oh, a lot of it's very niche. It's
They have a very specific
targeted
audience.
targeted audience. Yeah,
You have to be into that to really know about it.
it's not stuff you're gonna hear regularly on the radio.
It's like even people who
Especially some of the more brutal metal I like.
Right. Well, even people who don't listen to metal know who Metallica is.
Yeah,
Like people who don't listen to.
because Metallica became a household name.
Well, that's true. They hit mainstream. Well, I mean, that's true in various genres, though. Like there are people who don't know much about classical music whatsoever, but they know who Yo-Yo Ma is.
Yeah.
You know, coming from the extreme opposite end of this argument, it's just some guys managed to become household names. People know who Pavarotti is. There's a good one.
Oh yeah, Pavarotti was a household name in
Even
some
if-
circles. I wouldn't say all circles.
No, but most people know who he is.
I bet very few Florida Trailer Park people knew who Pavarotti was. I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but just saying.
At the end of this all, when we finally move on, so how was the Northwest Brewmeisters broadcasting experience? It was great. By the end, we had managed to not offend one person in the United States. We had hacked on everyone. Florida man,
Pretty much.
Canadians,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
British,
Oh, yeah.
Europeans, everyone.
I'm saying it all tongue in cheek. If
Oh,
anybody's
of course.
offended, I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. Well, the thing is making fun of people. I mean, making fun of really broad stereotypes, like the maple syrup back bacon thing of Canada. I mean, come on, that's a Canadian joke.
Right.
America, what do they make fun of us for? For all sorts
Everything.
of things. Everything.
Everything.
They make fun of our guns. We're in love with guns. No lie, I love my guns. I'm a big, huge 2A supporter. But they make fun of that. They make fun of Texas and how crazy Texas is with some of its laws.
Sure.
Just the craziness of America. We are kind of a crazy nation. 50, if we worked properly, we are 50 countries that have agreed to get along. We have free trade agreements, basically.
Right.
Just like, with the exception of California. California, they're on the edge.
Their own thing.
I mean, seriously, there's a border check in California. It's like, why am I going through a border patrol check from Oregon to California?
Yeah.
It's like, aren't we
I've been
both
through
American
that
states?
quite a few times. Yeah, we had some oranges or something that got confiscated.
Yeah, I get it. They're trying to well, actually, no, I don't get it.
We had beef jerky. They were about to take it. They're like, "Well, wait, you can keep your beef jerky because it's already processed and cooked, Or not
Yeah.
really cooked, but it was dried. But they were telling us like if we were trying to bring meat into the state, they would have confiscated it. So, like meat in a cooler or something.
Yeah.
First of all, I wouldn't be driving around with raw meat in my cooler, like not crossing state lines, you know.
Yeah.
If I have meat in a cooler to drive somewhere, I'm going to go to a state park or whatever and have a cookout. You know what I mean?
I cross 1, 2.
Well,
you
come back from hunting though. That's different.
That's right, but I still cross 2 state lines
Yeah,
with raw
you go
meat.
Idaho and yeah,
You
but
know?
they don't seem to care about it though.
Right. I mean, it's and my point is, why is California like that? I mean, what's special about them other than the fact that they're kind of crazy?
Arizona's the same way. You can't bring citrus in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, outside citrus, you can't bring it in. I'm not sure what it has to do with. I don't think it's.
It's got to be parasites.
I think. Well, yeah, I was going to say. I think it's like food related. It's not because they're just trying to be dicks. I think it's just it's food related. You know,
there are certain things that I will not do that I could get away with. You know, I could take a week off of work, drive out to Montana, and cut wood all day long because there are places I know of in Montana where I could stack up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cords of wood. Just sitting on the ground, dried, already seasoned, ready to burn. Right? But I'm not going to do that because there are bugs in Montana that we don't need here.
Right.
Right? And vice versa. There are bugs, little tiny bugs, in the wood here that they don't need in Montana. They're fighting their own invasive species.
Right.
There are vast swaths of Montana. You look across and you just see just like dead pine trees, just big acres and acres of them. And it's this thing called a pine beetle.
Yeah, I've heard about pine beetles. Yeah.
And this is something about the climate change thing, which, whether you're into man-caused or, what is it, anthropomorphic, or they have different terms for it. But anyways, whether you think that we as humans are creating climate change or whether it's a natural thing just because the climate does change, and if you look back through history, you can tell the climate does change. We had ice ages before we had petroleum burning vehicles. And there were ice ages and warmings and ice ages and warmings. So obviously this is cyclical. But point being is the pine beetle, one of the reasons there's a hard time with it, the winters are not cold enough. And they're not killing it.
Yeah.
And so it's just destroying a lot of trees. And yeah, I mean, what can you do? Cut them down. I mean, that's really what they should do, is they should cut them down. It's like, we either need to do controlled burning, like forest fires set on purpose. And that's something that they say the Native Americans did that. I have an issue with revisionist history because on the one hand, I'm open to the idea that, the winner writes history, and so history may not have happened. Well, for example, when I was growing up, it was Custer's last stand.
Right.
And Custer was kind of the victim of a well-organized enemy thing, right? But as I've learned, it was like Custer's last stupid act.
Yeah.
Because Custer was a jerk. And he was
arrogant. So smart. Yeah, he was a dumbass. Or not dumbass, he was prick,
Right. And the Native Americans, that's another thing. I have no problem with the term Native Americans. Like, let's go with that. I'll even go with indigenous if you want to. That doesn't bother me. It's like, I'm not going to stand on, what's wrong with Indian? It's like, whatever. You want to be called purple people eaters? Okay, there you go. Sure, fine by me. But, I mean, so the Native Americans, they had it, and I forget which tribes were there. But Custer, he had Native scouts who said, "Don't do it. You are done." He was a jerk, and he went in there and they slaughtered him. Well, I didn't learn that in history class. I learned that after history class.
Yeah, the history class taught us he was a victim.
Right, and that is not. I mean, to an extent, that's revisionist history, but to an extent, that's just like, well, we've kind of looked at really the information that we have, and Not poor Custer got surprised by the evil savages.
Right.
It was like,
stupid Custer walked into an ambush by a
pushed-
highly organized enemy force.
He pushed the envelope.
Yeah, he pushed it too far, and it popped.
And then I got 2 letters.
But what I'm not type cool with is this whole, the entire Western European American experiment was nothing but evil and atrocities. And the wonderful Eloi, to use a time machine term, were just sitting here, just harmonious and perfect, and they just sat around singing Kumbaya.
Right.
And they never had issues. Everything was solved through these like peyote sessions, and the buffalo came, and they never actually killed a buffalo violently. It came and it just expired, conveniently dried into pemmican for them, so they were never. It's like, no, these were human beings just like any human beings. All human beings have a bad side. However, I'm not against the thought that maybe they had some practices, some, what am I trying to say? Some stewardship practices of the land that worked well that we didn't do well,
Right back.
All right, I'll be right here, staring at the screen. Ooh. We've got a comment. I'm looking at the wrong screen. What do we got here? I hear that argument here in Canada too. Indian versus native. Yeah. And to an extent, it's like, you know what? It's true, because Indian is truly, and this is well recognized. Like, this was taught when I was a kid. It's like Columbus called them the Indians because he thought he had reached India. So from the very beginning, we have been taught down here in the States that, the term Indian for the Native Americans was never the right term. So if you want to say indigenous, you want to say First Peoples, you want to say Native American, however you want to call it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Because, like I said, we were taught from the very beginning not the right term. It was a misnomer. They were misnamed because Columbus thought he was somewhere that he was not. So, yeah. I follow actually quite a few, most of them prefer the term indigenous. But on Facebook and on YouTube, there's quite a few, YouTubers, influencers, but they're Native American folks who, they have these little channels and they're funny. And some of them, once in a while, they'll get a little more serious. You can tell that they care about their culture and stuff. But a lot of time, they're just being funny. It's like, hey, here we are. We're American Indian or Native American or indigenous. Look at us. It's like, yeah, you're cool. There's one, Eagle Blackbird, and he's got a friend in this guy. He's a white dude, and he calls himself, they did this whole thing on getting indigenous names, and during one episode, they gave the white kid the name Young Casper.
Young Casper.
And now Young Casper has his own channel.
Oh.
And it's all Native American jokes. Some of them poking fun at stereotypes, some of them just making fun of life, just the same way that we would make fun of regular American. Like, we'd make fun of military life, like sweeping rain, or dumb things. Everyone within a community, defining it. By the way, I hate the word community because it's another one of those overused words. But still, yes, thank you, off stage. Look, we have a producer. Mainly what she does is bring food, but she's still...
Puts me to work. I had to go carry groceries.
Right. Occasionally she drops an F-bomb even though the microphones are still running. Get out! Get out!
Never.
No! No F-bombs today. Go, go, go. We are still G. No, but
Make me do.
this is a prompt. Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye.
What the?
Yeah, there it is. Anyhow, these guys are funny. They are funny. People will argue for the sake of arguing, though. Okay, so nobody go to my personal Facebook profile because maybe that's what I do.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes it's hard when I'm like, yeah, but it's like shoot, I actually agree with this guy. But that's no fun. Some people argue just to be jerks.
Yeah.
You know, you're absolutely right on that. In any case, these guys are funny. They have many funny reels and stuff. And some of the stuff I totally get is because I grew growing up in Montana. You know, we started out on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation. Then we moved to Missoula, which is just south of the Flathead Indian Reservation. And for a while, I lived out in kind of eastern Montana, next to the Crow Agency, which is Crow Agency is the name of the Crow Indian Reservation. So I'm familiar with Native Americans.
Okay.
I've been around them quite a bit. So some of the jokes these guys say, it's like, yep,
Like, I get that.
I get that. I totally get that.
I have a little reservation experience. There was a couple of reses that I grew up around.
Well, yeah, Texas
People
has it.
from the Southwest, you know.
Well-
Not just Texas and New Mexico as well.
Right, and we tend to have bigger reservations. That doesn't mean they're great chunks of land, but they're bigger reservations.
Right, used to be an area, you know.
Like here in Washington, some of our reservations are like
Hey.
they're like 20 acres.
You're like,
It's like that's
it?
a ranchette. 20 acres. Yep, just big enough to build a casino and a parking lot.
No lie, dude. No lie.
And they do, you know. That's not even a joke. I'm not even making a stereotypical joke. That is the truth, man. Bam, casino, parking lot.
Well, if this is all you're going to let us have, then we're going to capitalize. And
Yep. And
Take-
God
take
bless
your
them
money.
for it, because they're doing it, and they sell cheap cigarettes and cheap gas, and so the people who are off the res, they go on to the res. I mean, technically, the if they wanted to really be persnickety about it, they could set up right on the border,
Yeah.
like the state patrol and stuff. Woo! Got there. You really smoking 14 packs or 14 cartons of cigarettes? No?
Yeah.
Or are you dodging taxes? You know, because it's stupid. You know, cigarettes, for example, here, if you want to buy a carton of cigarettes just in white man land, right?
Man.
Say, you know what? Just go with it. It's white man land, all right? 120 to 140 bucks, right?
Lord, cigarettes are...
On the res, 90 bucks, which is still expensive. But
90
still,
bucks
that's
for
$50 difference.
Well, I get the difference, but good Lord. The fact that a carton of cigarettes costs $90.
Don't talk about my heroin
I
habit.
was about to say, come on, man. What are you doing?
Talk about your guitars.
They don't kill me.
Yet, you think.
Yeah, they're gonna come alive and be like, ah!
Next week, Steve is dead because his throat was cut by a snapped E string. It's like, wow, I did not want that to happen.
And just you want to make that argument? Let's see, how many years have you been smoking?
I have to do math on that one.
I haven't-
33.
What's that? 33.
33.
Okay. I haven't been buying guitars for 33 years.
True.
Now, granted, I spent a good chunk of money in like a 3-year period, but not that much money.
Yeah. That whole argument, you spend your money on what you spend your money on. You know.
I will fight that one to the teeth. I will die on that hill.
What's that?
It's my freaking money to spend how I want to spend. You
Well,
know?
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is you know, I've heard that joke. There's a joke before, or a meme. You know, somebody was like, you know, if you weren't smoking, the amount of money you've spent on cigarettes, you
Oh,
could buy
yeah.
a Ferrari.
I've
And the
heard that.
rebuttal
I've heard
was
that.
like, well, do you smoke? Like, no.
Where's your Ferrari?
Where's your Ferrari?
Yeah.
You know, it's like really, people spend their money on what they spend their money on.
Right.
You know, people like I don't have cable TV. You have cable TV, right? This is just something.
I
This
would
is.
love to get rid of it.
I know, but my point is, you
Yeah.
have it, right?
I do have it, yes.
And I don't. It's not something that I choose to spend my money on. Trying to think of things. There's differences between my wife and I. Things that my wife spends money on that, you know, I wouldn't spend. It's like I don't spend money on that. I do spend money on cigarettes. Yeah, they'll kill you. But lots of things will kill you, like everything. Just look at California.
Everything could be
Everything. Cancer causing, cancer causing, cancer causing.
Yeah.
You
I cause
are
cancer.
cancer causing. Just by
I
me
cause
saying,
cancer.
I'm catching cancer from you.
Right.
Which is horrible because I'm a smoker. You should catch cancer from me. You probably are. We're both gonna die from
65, man.
everything.
Yeah.
You should go Napa. Literally everything in the store has a Prop 65 warning. And Prop 65 really did backfire. It's like this is a problem because they like went deep on it. Coffee, tomatoes, celery.
Celery.
I mean, I'm just pulling things out of my ear, but
Oh, I would
mean,
be surprised if
it was
if
like
the state
the
of
amount of
California actually
things,
labeled celery as
the amount of things that fell under that umbrella. That if you
It's like-
followed the letter of the law, you had to label it as Prop 65 was ridiculous. You know.
oh look, you want to buy some roses? Prop 65.
Yep. Just I will sell you these, but I just gotta warn you they cause cancer. Really?
Really?
Yep. According to Prop 65.
That's California for you.
Don't worry, I won't troll you on Facebook. One more warning, and I'm muted for 2 months. Oh, you know, I suddenly like you a lot more. Anyone who has managed to piss off the Facebook police, you are golden in my book.
I know, right?
Oh, the Facebook algorithm is so stupid. Although apparently, you know, the algorithm has a certain amount of power, but there's also people that do things. There was one warning, explicit content, and you'd click on it, and it would have another warning, and it was like,
This
be
is the
careful.
explicit content warning.
Right. The content you're about to see may be offensive and hard, and you clicked on the last. You know what it was?
Barney or something?
It was a freaking American. It was a bald eagle with some pro-American, like, you know,
What?
support your country thing. I mean, it wasn't even some radical, like, comparison to another country or some we'll blow you up on Sunday
Was
at
it
night type deal.
boobs?
Yeah, which I was kind of disappointed. But the point was, it was just this innocuous God bless America type thing. Nothing more, nothing less. Just generic. And yet, 2 warnings. To get to the picture, you had to click twice.
Maybe it was a joke.
I was beginning to think so,
Yeah.
except for the fact that it came off. And so I think Facebook said, oh, we look like idiots.
Oh.
It's like, too late. You do. You look like idiots. You know? It's just
Right, okay.
trying to think of things. And here's the problem. It's like, let's say you say something that I disagree with, or something that makes me mad. And then I say, well, I'm mad at you. And you're like, why? Because I don't want you to be mad at me, and so I want to change my behavior. And I say, well, I'm not going to tell you. But I just want you to know that what you said was upsetting. You're like, well, what did I say? Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Isn't that like a passive aggressive thing, you know?
It's like you're not allowed to know what it was that you said.
Right.
I've had that.
You offended me, but I'm not gonna tell you why.
It's like a post you made went against community standards. Which
Well,
post?
Which one? Which post? Yeah.
Because I'm gonna post a lot of stuff because I have fun doing it, trying to get people to fire back. So here's my thing on Facebook. I am all about the argument or the debate, if you will.
Right.
You know, I much prefer a debate to an argument, although I'll play a flame war with you, because I think that's fun, you know. But I will tell you that there are times when I've been beaten, and I've just accepted it. It's like,
all right.
points to Bob. You got me. I got nothing. Last post. You get it. The field is yours. I'm willing to do that.
Well, that's.
I don't smoke, drink, or gamble, and I'm still broke. But then again, you're taking a gamble buying groceries because they're expensive. Yeah, right?
Yeah, seriously. God, that Metallica weekend I was talking about.
I think maybe you should drink.
Just
Because we're two guys from the Pacific Northwest that like beer.
maybe you should too.
Come on, Jade, you're with us.
No,
We're gonna
no,
come
man.
find you.
Just being in that little area of Seattle where Jonathan lives, where we stayed for that show. We forgot. Jonathan's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any coffee. And so we're like, oh, it's fine. We'll just go get some. And of course, we forgot to get coffee too. So we had to go buy coffee from like a little coffee place, and that was not Starbucks either. Thankfully.
Okay.
It was around. All right.
Taking her to work.
Be good. So we walked around the corner to this little coffee, barista place. I don't remember the name of it, Rebel Coffee or something like that. The coffee was pretty good, but for 4 coffees, it was like $48.
Yep.
I even got this the boring Americano because it was one of the cheapest ones on the menu there. Of course, my family was like, "I'm gonna get the super latte with like everything imaginable I can add to it."
And 4 extra shots.
And it's like, oh, that's your coffee alone was $38 there, hon. Boy, is it so freaking expensive. I couldn't believe how expensive stuff was in that area, But Seattle, so everything's expensive. I mean, they even joke about the radio now.
Oh yeah.
When I'm listening to, I listen to 99.9 a lot, and they just make those commercials and stuff that make jokes about just how nothing in Seattle is lowering. It's all raising,
Well, they have the highest income tax, or they have the highest sales tax in the state. Because our state sales tax, you have a state sales tax, and then added onto that is your county sales tax, and added onto that is your city sales tax. So, for example, Oak Harbor's city sales tax is on top of Island County's sales tax. Island County is 8.7.
You just say tails tax.
I did, but you know what I meant. And if you hadn't said anything, nobody would have caught it.
Oh no, we're gonna discuss this one because it was funny. Yes. Tell me about the state tails tax.
I'm done with the tail sax. I'm also done with the baritone sax and the alto sax.
How about a soprano?
Nah, I'm cool with the soprano sax.
Looks like a oboe.
Well, it invites violins, and then you have like an R-rated orchestra.
That's funny.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Point being, though, is that Seattle is stupid expensive. By the way, Jade says, and I think she's correct, their AI bots flag a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be flagged.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that,
The
but
algorithms are dumb.
but there are still humans behind the scenes doing things. My friend Keith, who is an IT guy, that's what he does. He was mentioning something. He's like, humans still make a lot of the decisions.
Sure.
A lot of that dumb stuff that happens, you get warning, Facebook jail, and all that. That's not necessarily a bot.
That is
a human being.
The automated side might flag it, but yeah, some human being might be interpreting it later in their pot. They might be making those dumb calls like, "Oh, well, yeah, that's offensive."
I just wish.
It wasn't.
I wish we could have an unregulated place. You know what I wish is none of it was regulated, and I'll tell you why. Because in an unregulated space, eventually the trolls would die.
You know what an unregulated space is? Face-to-face conversations. Obviously, that's not going to work when you're thousands of miles apart. But
well, it's hard to talk to Jade face to face because BC. BC is a big province.
Right, and unfortunately, it's still regulated because anything she says to us has to go through YouTube.
Right.
We're not regulated because we can say right on the fly whatever we want to say, But she's going to be regulated based on what she types,
Right, because of the text.
But what I'm saying, a true unregulated space is that we'll just say people actually meeting face to face,
But I just guess my point. So right now, for example, X.
Weapon X. I like to call it that, but it's not my creation.
I know.
I heard it from someone else.
So you know X, that whole X.com, which is what Twitter is now, right? Elon has had that name.
Oh, I know this. I knew this actually.
Yeah,
he's had it for a long time. Yeah.
That's like, he really wants that to be the
wanted
name.
that.
He definitely wanted that name.
Oh yeah, no, I know he's owned that domain for a long time.
So in any case, though, it's like the problem is you have Facebook and you have the previous Twitter, which was overregulated and very left-leaning, right? And so now Elon Musk has just kind of like thrown off the shackles. It's like rock and roll. It's almost 4chan, not quite 4chan.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Now I am a big supporter of 4chan. Really, it's like let it roll. It's like, well, you don't keep record of it. Why should you?
Right.
Like, first of all, it saves server space.
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole server is just 1 gigabyte. He doesn't need any more because it just gets overwritten.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, well, we need to. So you're saying that you need to track people. You're
No.
saying that you, the government, need to have a record on what people say. You need that. Is that what you're saying? Is that you're saying you're surveilling your own citizens? Is that because that's what I'm hearing when you're saying that you're complaining about the fact that 4chan didn't keep records? It's like, no, overwrite that stuff.
Yep. You don't need it.
Yeah, just burn it every day.
It's just opinionated garbage anyway, you know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, but white supremacists. It's like, you know what? There are evil people everywhere, and they are saying what they're going to say.
There's people that are more evil than white, almost the percentages out there. Whites are
Those white percentages.
Those white percentages. So,
You know, we might as well go back to the heavy beer.
I know, right? We're already over the threshold, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, I gotta look at things. Okay, I got 20 minutes until the next hops edition.
Oh, okay.
This is a long
Which means
boil.
after that, you have 30 minutes left under boil.
Right, so when we do the next hops edition, we're gonna
swap your stuff
sterilize
over.
the
Yeah.
wort chiller. Okay. good.
Sterilize the chiller. I'll go pull the stuff out of the solution, get it drying on the counter.
But really, think about it. So here's what I'm saying. So right now, Twitter is this like hotbed. So I don't do politics on X, right? I also don't do politics on my Facebook page. Both of those are my musician sites, and it's I'm pretty bland there. You know, I post music things and stuff. Occasionally, I'll like something that is politically slanted,
Right.
but I don't post comments. I don't do politics. My feed on Twitter, and I don't follow political accounts. Right? I follow that one composer out of Ireland who's not overly political, but you know what else he's not? Overly musical. You know, which is weird because he is gay, 100%. I know he's never said so. No, well, just follow
Why does
me.
he have to be musical? Why does he have to be gay to be musical? Or whatever?
Well, no, his political stuff.
Oh.
What makes it weird is that the things that he tags on and posts, I 100% agree with. You know, it's like, okay, so you're kind of a right-wing guy and Orthodox Christian, so obviously all the views on homosexuality that come with that, right? And yet you find yourself agreeing with this guy. It's like, yeah. You know, things that he posts about the ridiculousness of this law or this transgender thing or this, which is why that's one of the reasons that I know that lumping in the transgender community with the gay community is a huge disservice to the gay community. It's like, look, a gay man knows he's a man. A lesbian knows she's a woman, right? She knows this. He knows this. He's not confused. Why are you equating them with someone who has decided they're one or the other? That is its own separate community.
Right. It's a different thing, but yeah, but people tend to naturally combine them, even though it's not the one and the same, you know.
Well, and I know part of it because part of it is that if everybody stays fractured, then no single thing kind of has the political and cultural clout to come up against the conservative traditionalist monolith that exists, right? Because it is. I mean, and if you ask me, there's a reason that you could call it the traditional conservative monolith. Because most people feel that way. Well, I mean, whether it's religiously based or just like this is the way you feel about it, most people kind of lean that way. I mean, there's a big, loud out group that leans the other way, but they are less numerous than I think we.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point is,
Good.
I'm actually what I'm trying
Balance
to.
spider that's growing on me.
Yeah. Very brave the way he just blew it off. The guy at work, Greg, big burly diesel mechanic, he'd have freaked out. It's like, dude, it's a little itty bitty spider, man.
A spider got me the other day when I was at practice. I'm like,
Did you get bit?
No, just like, and it was like,
That happened to
oh,
me.
and then it got on me, and I'm just like, we're recording too, and I'm just like, sorry, a spider, and everybody's like, what? Oh my God, really? You know?
Well, there's a certain point. It's like, all right, look, I can't even concentrate because he's
I know.
on my eye. He's on my
I mean,
eye.
this is a little guy. He wasn't like a big old, just like, blah, but he's just like, just trying to move, you know.
We've gone from controversy to something that everybody identifies with. This is amusing.
A spider. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I want to do my spider story now. I was, I've been running during the morning. So I'm running the other day, and I see this thing. And I look, big old spider just swinging by a web. It's like, hey! Yep, that was exactly it. Go away. And it was one of those big, long, up here they're an orb weaver of sorts, I think. But they look like a daddy long legs, but they're not. They have really long legs, and they have a two-segmented body, whereas like the harvester spider, which I think is not a true spider, but the daddy long legs has one round body and then 8 legs that come off it. Well, there's this spider, which has really long legs, but it's two-segment body. They're harmless. They eat lots of pests, including other small little spiders. They'll go after other spiders. We don't kill them. We just leave them.
Oh yeah, no, I
house.
don't kill the spiders.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, if they're in the house, I'll take them outside, put them on a bush. But
right, even the ones like the hobo spiders, the ones that you don't want to get bit by.
Yeah.
We don't even kill them. We catch them and take them outside.
The only ones I kill, if they have to be inside. If they're outside, I'll leave them alone. But the only ones I kill inside are black widows. But I haven't seen a black widow in years in my house.
Yeah, I've never seen a black widow. There are some spiders I don't even take them outside. Like those big long-legged ones. It's
you're like, you're good.
You're fine. Just hang out up there.
Eat
The other day,
bugs.
one came down to visit me. It's like, hey, I'm exercising here. You need to go back up there because you're kind of,
it's kind of weird.
You're a little too close. You're in my bubble. Spider in my bubble.
I don't want you to put your spider willy on my face,
Yeah, no. That's so wrong. Anyways, all the way back around to Twitter. My point is, let's get rid of all the controversy and the gay and the transgender and all the other things I was saying. Is that right now Twitter is a wild west, and it has been taken over by a whole bunch of people with a lot of vitriolic political views. And I think it's good that there's a space for that to happen. But if every space was like that, it would not be as prevalent because they would be other places, and then you could ignore them and still enjoy Facebook and still enjoy Instagram. And so, but as it is, when you're on Instagram or Facebook, not that I have an Instagram account, maybe I should start one, or a Snapchat, or a TikTok, or anything, those are highly regulated, and you feel like you're in communist Russia, and then you go to Twitter and you feel like you're in the wastelands.
I'm liberated.
And it's like, is there no place where we could just do normal?
I know, right?
Well, there is a place. Right here.
Yeah.
Me and you. It's like, you know what? Stop talking to the entire 8.1 billion people of the world. Go down to the local supermarket. Stop buying your stuff online.
Have a conversation with somebody.
Go buy your stuff locally in town and talk with the checker. Find out why she has 3 different size tires on her car and say, Sarah, that's just not right. You should have one size tire all the way around. They should all be the same.
3 different size tires? That's so funny.
Well, yeah.
It's just, I've never heard anybody say it like that. It's just funny.
Well, so the thing is true. I don't
Sarah, I was walking by your car. I couldn't help but notice. You have 3 different size tires on your car. What are you doing? Why? You know?
How do you even drive that thing?
What the hell?
This is a real life thing. True story, but shouldn't tag on like that.
You know, but you're right. It would be a good old fashioned face to face conversation with somebody. Be like, Sarah, drive your car. Your tires should all be the same.
Yeah.
They don't have to be the same brand. They should all be the same size.
You know,
Get
all
better
this
gas
talking,
mileage.
and I still haven't remembered the important topic number 2. It's something to do with always people. It's gone. It's lost to the vagaries of beer and conversation and chatting.
Yeah. There's no restrictions right here, at least on our end.
No,
We can say what we want right now.
that's true.
We could say the most vile, vitriol things, or we could be the most sweet things.
Let's go with vile and vitriolic, because sweet. I'm sorry, man.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say sweet things to you.
Please
But-
do not.
I would say.
I realize you're tempted, but don't.
But I could say sweet things.
Like
Or just rainbows.
rainbows. Try harder.
Those little hearts you get at Valentine's Day. That
You're
taste
just
like
saying
chocolate.
nouns. That's not nouns. Come on, harder. Sweet thing. Sweet idea. Go ahead. Go for it. Go for it. It's
I'm
I
not
know.
sweet. I'm
It's
not
because
sweet.
you're a freaking metalhead nihilist. That's your problem. You need to listen to more Hillsong. Excuse me, I need to vomit now. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, we're gonna be like,
I can't.
we're just
stand
gonna
it.
go. Whoop! It didn't happen.
I can't stand Hillsong.
Well,
You don't even know what Hillsong is, do you? Yeah, it's contemporary Christian music. They're like the
Oh.
stereotype avatar of it. It is horrible music. If you
it's
afterwards,
like what people like jokingly say, like Jesus and stuff.
yes, there you go. It is the Jesus music. I think I've shown it to you before, but I'll show it to you again after we're done with the broadcast. Blimey Cow, How to Write a Worship Song in 5 minutes or less.
You did show me that, yeah.
Right. Okay. So we don't need to revisit it because you reminded. That's the Hillsong. You know.
Okay.
First, you need your riff. It's like, and then you need. You're awesome, and you could do. These are the 4 chords. You know, fire, desire, higher, flame, something. Something's got to be on fire. Hallelujah, and you can just say ale ale or lulia or ya ya ya. It's just say it however you want. It's yeah. CCM is the most. You know how bad pop music is, like the whole Taylor Swift. She just does top line to a music bed, which is not artistic at all. It's like here's your basic harmonic progression, and then you just write some cheesy melody, and then throw some lyrics to it. That would be great if you were 17 and had just broken up with your boyfriend, but you're 34 and obviously there's something wrong with you because you can't hang on to a man. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you've gone through as many men as Taylor Swift has gone through, the problem is her, not the men she's
Not the
choosing.
men,
There
right.
there is some problem with her. You know, and it's just like stop pretending you're this broken 20-year-old poet. You're a cynical 30-year-old who knows that she's got something going with the Swifties as long as she writes this. It's garbage music is my point. It's auto-tuned, the beats are corrected, everything is quantized. It's like, shoot, this is practically AI written. Practically AI written. You know, in fact, you might as well let the AI do it. And that, friends, is my feeling on Taylor Swift. But still, we should accept her advice on who to vote for. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'm all over
anyway,
that.
CCM is that same level. It is just garbage, and it's my problem with it is it's bad musically and it's bad theologically. So they have to adapt the theological ideas to fit the melodies, but they kind of have to adapt the melodies to fit the theology, you know, because they got to do this thing, and they end up with something that is bad musically and bad theologically. It's just garbage. It's 100% garbage. And the problem with it is they're like, oh, I just love Jesus so much. It's like, no, you're just trying to be rich and famous like Hillsong. You want to do a stadium tour, but doing it for Jesus. Like, no, man, Jesus didn't do stadium tours. Well, actually, he kind of did. He had a few stadium moments.
Stadium tours.
Well, I mean, they were on mountainsides, but we're talking like 5,000 people. That's a pretty good crowd. And he did it without a microphone. Take that, Metallica. No mic. No mic, and even the guy in the back heard him. I don't know. They didn't talk much about the acoustics.
Can you hear
in
me
the
back
Bible.
there?
God, you son of God, you're good. I have said nothing blasphemous, thank you. So, point being though is that it's garbage. I mean, it's everything that pop music is,
Right.
but with the added, and this is almost blasphemous. That whole, oh, Jesus loves it, God will
It's
bless
flair,
it. It's
yeah.
like, no, it's garbage. It's garbage. Making a shit product and then saying God will bless it is blasphemy. That is taking the Lord's name in vain. That is taking the Lord's name in vain. Saying God damn it, sorry, but saying that, yeah, it's taking the Lord's name in vain, but not nearly as bad as putting a half-hearted effort that is truly aimed at making money, not furthering Christianity, and saying God will bless it because it says Jesus 8 times. I said Jesus 8 times. It must be a good song. It's like, you ever watch RoboCop? They said Jesus more than 8 times in that movie. In fact, they said Jesus Christ more than 8 times in that movie.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, and I don't think that God's gonna bless that movie because that was not Christian.
Oh no, I saw that movie in the theater when it was new.
Really? Yeah. I don't think I saw RoboCop in the theater.
Yeah, I saw it a couple times. It was pretty violent. It came out like 87, I think. 87.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. I just don't think I saw it in the theater. So
mean,
I don't know what Jade's saying
but I was
this
young.
about. But Jade's saying facts. Are you familiar with Hillsong? Is that it, Jade? She might be familiar with Hillsong. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. We forgive you for that, by the way. But the offer's open. Always open. Come on down.
Or,
I would say no.
Oh no,
down.
I guess she's down.
BC.
BC, yeah.
Come on down.
She'd be down in this case, yeah. True.
I got a place for you to stay. Well, not in October. Middle of October to the end of October, it's full. But after that, I got a place for you to stay. My wife might be kind of mad at me. It's like, whose house is that? Yours. And you're loaning it out to your random friends on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not using it. So. Oh man, awkward silence. We hit an awkward silence.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
What time is there, like
34:16.
4 minutes for hops?
Quick, important topic number. Why did that? Oh, it's a wasp.
Because
That's
we've
why
been
it
drinking.
Flew.
Oh.
A wasp just flew out of your beer.
Really?
Really? It might have flown out of the beer can next to it.
Possible.
Possible.
I did see it kind of flirting around earlier by the toilet paper and the motorcycle. Kind of watching it, and I'm like, "Where are you going, dude?" You know. I'm glad it left though.
It did. It went out that way. Wasps are really, that's one insect that I kill pretty much. It's like, I realize that you technically have a place in the whole ecological sphere, but you're a jerk. You're a mean bug.
You're an aggressive bug.
You make nests in places and then get mad at us even though you made the nest.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a jerk. You walked in my territory. You made your territory my front door.
It's like, come on, man.
It's like, you stupid colonizer insect. There we go.
Topic number 3.
Topic number 3: colonization of wasps.
Yeah. I've removed quite a few nests from my house over the years.
I got one.
Some of them were like cantaloupe size, man. You know.
I got one that is forming in a window, and I need to take that needs to be done tomorrow afternoon because it's not happening tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, me and a can of Raid are gonna get rid of these
We're
guys.
gonna go to battle. Yeah, I did that at my grandmother's house. It was it was a hornet's nest, and they were building it on like a vine. It was like a rock wall that had vines growing on it, like ivy. It was probably about this big around. And so it was like, oh, look at all these little guys, you know. So she had this like high pressure, specifically. It was a hornet nest killer.
Yeah.
And it's designed so that you can shoot it from like good, 6, 7, 8, 10 feet away, whatever.
Right, but don't stand downwind.
Yeah. And so I prepped the can, got it ready. My friend Matt was with me. We're like, all right, we're gonna do this. So we opened the gates because we knew we were gonna run like hell after that. So I just like, run! Because those things were just like, they were all
They
over the
come
place.
out of there like demons.
We ran to the other side of the house, and we're just like, I don't see any. Want to go? All right, so we dragged our way back around the house, and yeah, they're all dead.
Nice.
That stuff was quick acting, man.
So
Some
the
kind
facts-
of raid or whatever, you know. Raid
Apparently, the facts comment was on the Taylor Swift rant.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, one of the nests that I took care of was, you know, my wood shed. Next to it, there's like that, you know, where the tools and stuff are. That's where the big camel-sized one came out of. You know.
Well, right now it's a window and it's got like a screen and then a double pane and then but it's an old like
You
double.
showed me that actually.
Yeah, I mean it's an old style window where it's actually trimmed in.
Yeah.
Like it opens, but it's not like a vinyl window set into. It is part of the house.
Yeah, you showed me that.
So
nest.
between those two panes, that nest it's come back. It's the second time. I killed it once.
Oh, okay, all right.
Apparently there wasn't enough poison in there.
I know, right? It's like you would think it would trap it between those panes that they would be like, oh, nope, this place is toxic. Get out of here, you know?
Yeah, so.
Anyway.
27 seconds.
Huh.
So anyways, yeah, I gotta get rid of that. That's the next big housing project at our place.
Okay.
New windows all the way around. That's gonna be like 20,000.
Windows are expensive. That's so damn. I think it's kind of bullshit.
Gotcha.
Kind of
Gotcha.
bullshit. I think you can do them yourself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but you can do it.
Good.
It's like doing your own siding. You can save money on that too.
With my siding, I would save like probably about $50,000 by doing it myself because I have asbestos siding, and so that makes things.
That's where I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, if you're careful, you can do it. And asbestos is, you know, it's termed as super scary, but it's not like if you get a couple fibers, you're gonna die.
Where it hurts you is when it's like airborne, fragmented, baked into the siding. As long as you're not taking a saw to your siding and creating dust, you'll be fine.
All right. I must go do that which beer causes us to do.
Why don't we just call it?
You want to call it? We could call it.
Jade says, wasps are flying a-holes. Yes, we
Yes,
agree.
they are. All right, you entertain Jade for a minute. She's still here. She's still engaged.
All right. Yeah, pretty soon it's going to get kind of hectic. Well, I guess less so because only one beer is being made this time. When there's two beers being made, it really gets hectic. We have to manage everything and make sure timing of this and that. We're at a point though where we need to do some preparation and talking to the thing here. Do some preparation so that we can be ready for the next stages. Namely, get the things ready for siphoning up, filtering out the grains, and stirring the liquids up. Getting his carboy ready, getting the wort chiller ready. I'm getting caught up on your comments. All right, welcome back, dude.
Not quite back. I'm almost back.
I mean, you're.
Within microphone
We
range.
can hear you. Yeah, we can hear. We can't see you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, man. Yeah, we should probably take care of business there. So we have about 30 minutes. Still got to move that. We still got to get the stuff out of the solution, get it drying. You know, the strainer and the funnel and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. Once we get it, once the wort is chilled, everything gets a little more relaxed. You don't have to.
Yeah, well, the
quite
timing
as hard.
is critical. Yeah. But you know, it's been going for what, a couple hours now.
Oh yeah, it's been a long broadcast
Probably.
because it's a long boil. So.
All right. Kind of running out of things to say. To be honest with you.
That's the other thing. Once you're
'Cause
out
this
of
is
coffee-
not scripted. This is just kind of like, oh, let's talk about whatever comes up, you know.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, we could go for longer if we had no problem just jumping into the hyper controversial topics. But
Oh, if we do that, we're dealing with YouTube, though.
yeah, you know what's weird is that there's a lot of people that they don't want to. Like you're one of them. Not to be attacking you, but you're not real keen on let's do a controversial channel, right? You don't want that, which I'm good with. Right? Because actually, to be honest, I have other outlets where I can go do the controversial thing. But yet, even that, look at what we watch.
Yeah.
We watch Bill Maher. We watch Gutfeld. You know, even the critical drinker, who is a movie critic, ostensibly, still kind of lands on the controversial end of things.
Sure.
You know, it's like all the things that we consume are still. It's like why is controversy the thing that everybody seems to watch? It's the thing that seems to. If you want a successful channel, right?
Well, because it's the most talked about stuff, I'd say. You know.
Well, yeah.
Or it's more easy to talk about controversial stuff than it is mundane. You know, if it's mundane, then it's boring. You know, if you just be like, who cares? You know.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got a point there. You'll, especially if you're looking for audience feedback or stuff, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more feedback, or at least comments, if your topic is controversial.
Right.
If you're saying something like mundane, it's like, you're gonna get more people listening to an extent. Like, why don't we? I'm not suggesting we do. I'm saying, why do we not shut this off and then go watch yeast videos?
It's mundane.
Right. It's like it's not exciting, even though we brew beer every single. This is what we do. We brew beer. We love making beer. It's lots of fun. But yet we don't shut this off and then go watch a video on the various kinds of yeast and how to do this.
Right.
And suddenly
Yeast would be watching a video on brewing yeast would be so boring, man. You know.
right.
I can just read an article and be like, okay, you know.
I think that's part of it. Is we're Gen Xers.
Yeah.
And we are more text based than we are video based.
Right.
I saw that meme the other day. It's like, look, I am Gen X. I read fast.
I still like.
Don't send me a video. Send me an article.
I still like dead trees. You know?
Yeah. You know, and even if it's not dead trees, I prefer text.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to sit through 10 minutes of this stupid person bloviating.
Yeah.
Give me a text article. Because I can read everything that they said in 1/20th the time that it took them to say it. You know? It's like the whole transcript of this 15-minute, video, I could read in 2 or 3 minutes. I guarantee it. Because for one thing, I would skip the garbage.
Right.
Because there's a lot of garbage when people
you can weed it out. Yeah. Well, even in a written article, you can get through the garbage real quick and get to the point.
you get to the main points, the information in it.
Yeah. Right.
And I think, my kids are a bad example. I don't know. How do your girls interact? Do they prefer videos?
Oh,
or stuff,
they're all
or do
about
they...
video.
Yeah.
But they're kids, you know. That's all they've known, you know. And they kind of became self-aware.
Right.
It's video, you know. The schools use video. It's all, the schools, they use video in the schools, since they were little girls,
Yep.
you know.
It's really interesting how that has really taken over. Like, the prominence of videos where something will be happening in the video that is not even remotely related to what the voice is saying. Right?
in 1959, this government figure in this country did this, and this scandalous thing happened. But yet, unbeknownst to the actors in this story, yada yada yada, and it's said in this AI bot tone of voice, and it keeps going. But meanwhile, if you look at the video, it's a woman cutting cake into beautiful sections and serving it to her guests. Why are we watching a woman cutting cake while I'm talking about the blah 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 blah? Let's just go to the heavy beers, man. It's obviously pointless at this point.
You still have to drive, sir.
It's just true.
We could have another heavy beer. At least
Yeah.
one.
Well, I'm here.
We still have plenty of time.
We have.
We still need to eat. So
Yeah,
I mean,
we still need to eat.
by the way, there's no dinner tonight. It's leftover night. We'll just we'll just raid the fridge, man.
I'm all about raiding the fridge. That's perfect.
Yeah, because we went out to dinner last night for our anniversary and Bailey's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon's like, I'm taking the night off. I'm like, okay. There's plenty of leftovers. You know?
Yeah, that's fine. But my point of that whole thing is you have the voice,
Right.
which is talking about this subject. It is completely unrelated
The
to what's
the
going
video is
on in the
not-
video.
Like, why?
And it's like weird. It's like we have to have this distraction in order to keep us engaged with the other thing. Which, to an extent, yeah, we do. Because if I'm not interested in it in the first place, then
Right.
yeah. But if there's this mundane, freaky thing going on, person preparing honeycomb for decorative display that you can eat, like, oh, that's kind of what they're doing. Meanwhile, I'm listening to
necklace.
someone talking about the internal politics of the Secret Service of Chad. I didn't even know Chad had a Secret Service. So
Chad has a secret.
I don't know. I'm trying to be
I
about.
wonder how many people south of 30 even know there's a country named Chad. Oh, I know Chad Broski.
That's who I was talking about, actually. There's a country named Chad? I do know there's a country
I know
named
that
Chad.
you know that. But I'm just laughing because you never hear about the country Chad, man.
Well, you don't. You don't hear about a lot of Africa.
Seems like geography and world geography is like not a thing anymore.
It's,
Younger generations don't seem to know that countries exist, much less where they are. Wait, that's a country? Dude, it's a continent.
it's a whole continent. There
It's a
are
whole
countries
continent.
on it.
Oh.
It is not one country. There are a lot of people that think Africa is just one thing.
One
It's
country.
like,
Oh, no.
No.
The
And
only,
I
the
mean,
only one I'll give you is Australia. It's both a continent and a country.
well, it is.
That's the only one.
It's a
The only one.
continent and a country. And most of it is on the coast.
Oh.
And most of it's on the east coast.
You
I
could
think.
argue that Antarctica is like that, but I don't think Antarctica is. It's a continent, but it's not an established country. Nobody owns Antarctica. Nobody claims it.
Well, there's no point in owning Antarctica.
Right.
I mean,
It's wicked cold.
it's only good for science and penguins.
Science and penguins. like
Leopard
everything else.
seals. Occasional orca. I mean, it's just there's
Yeah, no, I get it.
that is not a place that humans will ever live as they want to.
Where were you born? Antarctica. What?
Well, maybe in the year 3027. Like, we all live in Antarctica now. It's the only place cool enough to
Cool
survive.
enough.
Global warming, apparently,
It was
didn't-
real.
It was not cyclic this time. It just kept going. We're also about 100 parsecs closer to the sun. And yes, I know. Yeah, parsecs.
It is distance.
It is distance. You know?
Not the way Star Wars used it as
Right.
as a time. Yeah, parsec is it's a legitimate distance. I forget what it.
I don't know how far a parsec is. 100 parsecs might put us inside the sun. I don't know.
Probably. I know I did when I was in college. I took a intro to astronomy class because I needed a science credit, and I thought, "Oh, this would be fun." And I did learn what a parsec was, but I don't remember what it is.
I do know that we are 8 light minutes from the sun. Give or take.
Well, we are one astronomical unit from the sun, which is 93 million miles. Excuse me, 93 million miles. So now they use that representation of one. You might say, well, the moon's 2.5 AUs away, or whatever.
Right.
Then, but the further you get, you need bigger numbers, and that's where the cars that came in, the light year.
Well, sure, it's a way to represent a very large
Big, long
distance,
distances.
but with a unit that you can kind of wrap your head
and
around.
a manageable number, yeah.
Yeah. So, in any case, right, 3027, it's like we are now only 6 light minutes from the sun, so everything, and by the way, everything except for Everest and Mount Rainier are underwater. We got these little tiny islands everywhere. Although I don't think that would happen because ice has greater volume than water. So if the polar caps melted, all the volume that they're taking up would be less, not more. And I don't know, I'm sure someone who knows more about the actual amount of ice that's up there and where it is on the land versus. So Antarctica, a lot of its ice is over land.
Right.
It's over rock. The North Pole
It's legit ice. Yeah.
is just sitting over the top of water. So
Yeah.
when that stuff melts, if the North Pole only were to melt, thinking theoretically sea levels would drop. Because all that ice that is sitting there pushing down and pushing the sea levels up, well, it would reduce in volume because ice has.
Kind of like when you get in a bathtub and the water rises.
Exactly.
Same idea, yeah.
Well, it's a simple experiment. Take a glass of water, take a cube of ice.
Oh, yeah, it's going to go whoop.
Right? Fill the glass of water to the top and then drop the ice in it so it overflows and it should be right up to the top.
Yeah,
and
but
then
as the
wait
ice,
for that ice to melt.
is the water going to lower or is the water going to keep going?
The water's going to reduce
As the ice melts?
as the ice melts. Because water is one of those, I think it's the only one that does this. As it gets colder, it shrinks and it shrinks and it shrinks, but when it freezes, it expands. And that's why ice floats. Because ice is less dense than liquid water.
Yeah.
Frozen water is less dense, and that's why it floats. And so, in order for something to float, you have the same mass taking up a bigger area, therefore it floats. Yada. You're a science guy, you know this stuff. Point being, if you take an ice cube, throw it in a glass of water, let it melt, the amount of space in the glass will be reduced. They're just taken up by water. So if only the North Pole melted, ostensibly sea levels would drop. However, if all the ice on Antarctica melted, all that ice would flow into the oceans and sea levels would rise.
Yeah.
So, who knows? You'd have to know how much there is in order to figure it out.
Nobody knows that. They can surmise, but they don't know exactly how much it is, you know.
Right, and I don't, the problem is we don't trust our experts anymore because so many of them have traded in, they've traded in their non-bias for these agendas and stuff. All right, so that's enough. We're going off the rails here, and we have 13 minutes left. All right, dear viewers.
We have work to do.
Does Jade have a last comment?
She said, all good. I'll be hanging out playing State of Survival. So she's engaged right now.
She's an SOS girl.
She's SOSing right now.
All right, so enjoy your State of Survival and your maple syrup and back bacon. All those other fun things. All hail the beaver.
Yes, all hail the beaver.
Wow. I didn't mean for that to be an innuendo, but here we go.
I mean, Oregon State, college people.
Let's not talk about Oregon. Those people. I don't know what has happened being trapped between Washington and California.
Keep Portland weird.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the weird in Portland, then.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, keep the weird in Portland. Thank you very much. All right, we are done with this craziness. All right.
Yes.
As always, relax.
Don't worry.
Have a home brew. And now we get to the.
All right.
We gotta end the stream. And then we end the stream again. Goodbye, you all. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. All right. And
bye.
Bye. All right.